Come and take a seat. Come and be. You can be our first person. We've got a second person. What's your name?
My name is Wakey.
What's your name?
Wakey.
Reiki. Tracy.
Yeah.
Tracy. Okay. Can we get involved in this? What's your name? Oh, yes, you as well. We've got plenty of seats. Come and. Hang on, that one's not. That one we're leaving. This is a special mic for the mayor, so we'll leave that one for now. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. Don't be shy. Okay, what's your name? Oh, hang on.
My name is Tayy.
Frankie. Okay, come on. What's your name? Come on. Yes, you can do it. Come and get involved. There's no age limit. There's no age limit here. What's your name?
Lily.
Lily. Okay, what do you want to talk about?
My name is Wakey.
Tracy, what do you want to talk about? You're gonna get what are you gonna get painted on your face? What?
Toyo.
Dinosaur, yeah?
Butty time.
What was that one? Butterfly and
Birthday.
what is that?
Birthday.
A firefly? Hello. Okay, we've got our second and third, maybe our fourth punter of the day. Tell us your name.
Hey, I'm Margot.
Welcome to Talkaoke. We just kicked off here, which is a little presentation with the mayor, which was really nice to meet the mayor. Yeah, that never got fixed. We've got another person over here. Tell us your name.
Melina.
We've got Margot here. I'm Mikey. We're just kicking this off.
Amazing.
And any initial comments?
Just thank you for your energy and enthusiasm with presenting the portraits today. I thought the collaborators were so excited to see their images framed.
Yeah, it was nice to get as well Soraya coming in at the end.
Yeah, and Dr. Phil
as
just
well,
showing up. It was really warming to see actually what this has meant to them, and it's been really fun to just see how many people are here and chatting and mingling.
It's been a really good event so far, but this is just the beginning. Where's my sound effects pad? That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, is that what you wanted? Sorry, I didn't bring it. Okay, well, we can fix that. But so it went well so far. So good. It's been okay. I want to know where the drinks come from because I run out of anything to drink in the studio. I don't know how.
You know what they say? The hungry bear doesn't dance. That's a Turkish saying. The thirsty bear neither.
You know, that reminds me. I used to live in Warwickshire. Oh, sorry, Karen.
Yeah.
Have you started? It's kind of.
This is how we start. Yeah. So, come and have a seat. Tell us your name.
Going for the break. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for letting me.
Oh well, we've got our fourth customer of the day. Tell us your name again.
Jaden.
I did it. So it will happen. People will come.
Fine.
Build it, they will
The
come.
next announcement is going to be in like 40 minutes.
Okay, what you could do is I've got this mic here, so I can even do it from the table. If you just turn me up on channel 1. Turn me up on channel 1. When okay.
I think I remember.
All right. Okay.
Give us a thumbs up when we want
Yeah.
to announce in case we get carried away.
Okay, Jaden, come and have a seat. We need some topics here. We haven't got any topics so far. Have you got a topic for us?
What topic? I don't know what topic.
What would you like to talk about? I'm going to turn myself on. I'm very quiet. How about that? No, is that better? What would you like to talk about?
Let me guess.
We've got another. Come and sit down. Come get involved in this. Don't worry. This is all. It makes me. It looks better when people are sitting down around. Come on, you can do it.
I will talk about.
What is this design you've got on your face? Who is this?
T-Rex.
What was that?
Who is it?
T-Rex.
T-Rex. Okay, T-Rex, the 70s pop star. I didn't know that you were into him. That's probably not going. That's not going to go. But T-Rex, do you like dinosaurs?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name?
It's Lorraine.
Lorraine, I'm Mikey. Come and get involved in this as well. Yes, that's you. We've got Lorraine, we've got Jaden, we've got Margot, I'm Mikey. We're talking at the moment. We're talking about dinosaurs.
Oh.
Is there? I mean, could this be like the Jurassic Park of East London?
I mean, I do wonder because this is a new development, right? I mean, when they were building it, were there any dinosaur bones found here?
Did they find dinosaur bones?
I mean, or is it like what was underneath this ground before?
Is it bodies? Yeah. Did they find some bodies on there?
I don't know.
Okay. Have you ever?
Hospital before.
Was it a hospital, really?
Well,
Okay,
that's
I
what
didn't
my
know
mum
that.
said. My mum said there used to be a hospital here.
Okay. Have you ever been to hospital, Jaden?
Nope.
No? Okay, well that's good. You
Yeah.
have been to hospital,
No,
okay.
not really. I
You were
guess.
just in and out quickly. Yeah.
5-minute
It was a 5-minute job.
But when I was a baby, I was in the doctors.
Okay, I might have to turn you down a little bit there, Jaden. Have you?
Mum, he's got
Yeah.
a bad voice like he's...
Come and get involved in this. We're talking. There's a few subjects on the table. We've got Margot. We've got Jaden. We have got Lorraine. What's your name?
Hodan.
What is it?
Hodan.
I have to turn you up. Hang on. What is it?
Hodan.
Hoden. And
Omar.
Umar or Omar?
Omar.
Omar.
Yeah.
And we got Jaden again. And who have we got over here?
Mahmood. Mahmood.
Okay. And who have we got over here?
I'm the mummy, Shukri. Hi.
Should we call you Mum or should we
Yes,
call you?
we'll do
We'll
mummy
call
for
you
today.
Mum. Okay. Well, there's a few subjects on the table. There's dinosaurs. There's hospital. Have you ever been to hospital? Anyone here ever been to hospital?
I've been optician.
You've been.
I've been eye test.
Okay. Is that the same as going to the hospital?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Is this it is, but is this like checking your eyes, not
Right.
your heart?
And how are your eyes? Are they okay?
I really do need glasses because like I squint a little like that, and that's one reason for getting glasses.
Okay. So, are you happy to get glasses?
Yeah, because I get Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Well, this is a special mic for the mayor that we only reserve for the mayor. Hang on to that. Omar, have you been to the hospital or
Yes.
have you been to the opticians?
No, I only been to the hospital because I broke my leg.
You broke your leg.
Yep.
See, where's our sound effects
Yes,
for all
he-
of this? It's coming. It's on the way.
Yes, you did. At the age of 4.
Okay. Has anyone else?
At the age of 4.
Has anyone else had an accident? So you've broken your leg. You've cut your finger. Have you had an accident?
I went to the doctors and the hospital
Okay.
because my face was swollen.
What accident did you have?
My face was swollen.
You what?
My face was swollen.
Your foot.
My face.
Your face was swollen.
Yes.
Has it come down there? Okay. We're talking about accidents. Have you ever had an accident? Come and get involved in here. In this, we've got Mum. Hang on. We've got Mum. We've got Lorraine. We've got Hodem. And we've got Omar and Jaden and Mahmood and Margot and Mikey. Mum, have you ever had an accident?
Many.
Yeah. Is there anyone you want to talk? I was going to say what's the worst, but maybe it's too traumatic. What's the one you want to talk about? What's the funniest accident you've ever had?
I've tripped.
Yeah.
Like you've tripped and hurt my knee.
Oh no.
One of them once.
Yeah. Okay. Have you ever had any accidents?
I have had an accident where, like, I never wear high heel shoes.
Yeah.
But then one time they weren't even high heels. They were like
Yeah.
really nice, kind of like winter boots.
Yeah.
And it was a straight pavement, middle of the day. I wasn't drunk or anything.
Yeah.
And I just like twisted my ankle so badly. But I still managed to go on a date later on that day, even though my leg was swollen.
Really? Were you in a bit of pain there?
I was
Was
in
it a painful
more
date?
than yeah, it was just one and only date. And,
Okay.
you know,
All right. Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Okay. So we're talking about accidents. Have you ever had an accident?
Yeah.
The other day.
What was your accident?
My accident was
We got our garden the other day, the trampolining.
Trampolining accident?
trampolining accident. I was like walking back to my cousin inside. My cousin had a trampoline. I was going back in her house, and then
Yeah.
suddenly I just stepped on something very sharp, and then my foot started.
Yeah.
Then my big toe started bleeding.
Oh no. We're talking about accidents here. Have you ever had an
that wasn't
accident?
accident.
Hang on a sec because of
Relax, everybody calm down. Let's
Yeah.
have a conversation.
everybody calm. It's me. I'm overexcited. I'm overexcited with this. That's the problem. I'm overexcited. But hang on a sec because I want to do. Oh come on! If I turn this up enough, I'm gonna try that again. Oh, is it maybe? Oh, we'll have to wait a second for this just to load. Okay, so we've got some new faces. So we've got Mum. We've got a new face over here. What's your name?
Aliyah.
What is it?
Aliyah.
Allah. Alina. Aliyah.
Anas.
Allah.
Anas.
What was it?
Anas. A-N-A-S.
Anas. Anas.
Yeah.
Anas, and we've got. Yeah.
Hang
Hang on. We've got Omar. What's your name?
My name is Timna.
And we've got Mahmood. We've got Margot. Who we got? And we've got Mum.
And Teddy.
Teddy. And I'm Mikey. I can remember my own name as well. Come and get involved in this. Have you ever had an accident? That's what we're talking about now. Have you ever had an accident, Anas? Oh, you've got actually the scars to prove it. How did you get that?
I don't know.
You don't know. Did you black out? Did you black out?
What?
No.
Tripped and fall, didn't you? Just like me. You tripped. You hurt
Okay.
yourself. I know.
I
It's not nice.
What's going on with this? What is going on with this? My sound effects. I'm going to have to start this all over again, yeah.
So you start it all over again, but I kind of wonder because apart from obviously talking about accidents, I'm just curious because there's a lot of kids here. I think maybe some of you are related to this lady here. You're related to her. Well, I have a question for you. I have a question for you. Have you seen her picture on this bill? Okay, what did you think of it?
Her name is Alia, and my accident is someone fell onto. So my friend Johan, he fell onto me,
Yeah.
and then over here it was bleeding.
So what I'm going to take from that is that
Yeah.
you've got nothing to say about the picture.
Well, yes, I do. So that I can see it went over there. So
How do you feel about that?
Good. And one of them is Shakri, Haba Suad, and Haba Halimo. Up that picture, next right over there, were three of them together, and one of them, they're holding rings all together. And what are you doing?
Okay, all right, we'll come back to you. I want to bring in some of the quieter people like Teddy and Timna. Have you ever had an accident, Timna?
Yes. When I was 5 years old, I fell on my front. I think you can still see the scar.
That explains
So
a lot,
yeah. It's not my brain coming out. Yeah, it's here, and that was the first time I had to go to the hospital. Yeah, and I got a couple of stitches. Yeah.
And how do you feel about that now? Do you feel more scared to go and do stuff?
No, I mean, I was sitting on the shoulders of a friend of mine. He was, I think, 10 years older, so 15. I was 5, and he was running, and then my shoe fell down, and he actually.
So it's another shoe accident.
Another shoe accident.
Okay.
Yeah, and he fell, and then I fell.
Yeah. Okay, we've got another couple of new faces. So let me get this right. We have got Mahmood. What's your name? Give us your name. Anonymous. What's your name? Adam. And we've got Timra. We've got Omar. We have got Hedom. Is that right?
Heard that, and I need to tell you.
Hodem.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm doing names at the moment. I'll come back. I'll come back to your accident. We've got Anas and we've got Alia and Teddy and Mum and what's your name?
Naima.
And
Rayan.
And tell us your name.
Sabs.
And
Zishan.
well, when we're talking about accidents, has anyone here had an accident?
I've had a lot of
You
accidents.
had a lot of accidents.
I've had a lot of
Are
accidents.
you like a library of accidents? What's your best
Library of accidents.
What's your best accident that you like
You know
to
what?
talk about?
That's it's a good one that you asked because when I say so many, they were very serious ones as well.
Yeah.
So I'll start off with this one on my hand.
Oh.
This scar here.
Yeah.
I was so about 12 years ago, ice skates went into my hands. So, and the way it happened, right, is so I knew how to skate.
Yeah.
My friend knew how to skate, but the person in the middle didn't know.
Yeah.
So what happened? The person in the middle fell. They pulled me down first, and then the third person who fell, their skates.
So it was a
went in.
big. It really was a.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, well, we've got the sound effects
Boom.
going now. That's what I've been waiting for that. So in a way, it's a lot of shoe-related accidents. You had a shoe-related accident. Tim, who's gone now, has had a shoe-related accident. What is a shoe-related accident? It's an accident which involves shoes or skates. In the case of Sabs, I'm going to come to you in a second. I'm just going to come to Margot.
I mean, I have to say, I know, like, for instance, I think in Austria, and maybe Timna can verify if it's true or not, but I think there everybody ice skates, and I come from Poland. Even though it's a cold country, we don't really do any ice. Well, I don't do any ice skating because I'm just too scared. And now I remember why I'm so scared of ice skating. It's a dangerous sport. I don't know why people do dangerous sports. It just blows my mind. I'd be just too scared.
Has it stopped you from doing ice skating?
No, actually, you know something, right? It was very gruesome.
Yeah.
So when it fell, I saw something white there. It was actually my bone.
Oh my God.
And I was pretty young, and I was like, would I be able to get? I was more concerned about getting back onto the ice rink.
Right. Okay.
After
Really.
that. So
it's actually So it was, you. It
so it didn't put me up. I did go again a few more times ice skating after that.
Yeah.
But what the lesson I did learn from that is that it's every man for himself.
Right.
So don't try to teach somebody else.
Yeah.
Don't try to teach somebody or not. Let them learn on their own.
Yeah. Let them
You need
learn
to
on their
basically
own.
worry about yourself.
Okay. Hang on. I'm just making the sound effects louder, so that should be super loud now. Yeah. Okay. Right. So we're talking about learning from accidents. Have you? Okay. We don't just want to hear about accidents. We want to hear how you've learned from the accident. Okay. Tell us about your accident. Have you learned from the accident?
Yes.
Tell us about your accident.
My accident was when I was like racing with Omar.
Yeah.
I like fell down two times and I got like a scar.
You got scars?
Yeah, like
oh my
here.
God! Oh, look at that!
And I got one here.
Have you learned anything from that?
Yeah.
What have you learned?
Do not run on bricks or else you'll fall on them.
Okay, so don't run in the wrong place. We're talking about accidents and also moving it on, learning from accidents. Do you actually learn from accidents? Yeah.
One time I tripped over and then my leg got bleed.
Yeah. And what did you learn from that?
I learned from that I should never run on grass.
Never run on grass. Is that what about all the footballers? Let's talk to some people we haven't talked to so far. Have you had any accidents, and have you learnt from the accidents?
I'd say, actually, I feel like I've had a lot of accidents and I just bury them in my mind a lot.
Yeah. So you put them behind you. You just want to just forget about it and move on.
Yeah.
Okay. You had a point. I'll come to you in a second.
I'm just really interested in this point, like every man for himself, because you know you kind of want to help, like you want to pass on your knowledge to someone, but essentially it's a big responsibility, and so it sometimes takes a while to kind of apply yourself to something. But I think these days I'll be just too scared to like teach someone anything.
Yeah.
It's too much.
So I think it's just a matter of leaving it to the qualified. So for example, my dad's a driving instructor. He's teaching me how to drive.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's teaching me how to drive, whereas I wouldn't go to my uncle who's not qualified to do that, would I? So it's more one of those kind of things where leave it to the qualified.
We may well be talking to, because Margot is wanting to learn to drive, so maybe we'll be talking to you. We're looking for driving instructors. But that's a good thing. It's also about learning. We're talking about learning. Teddy?
Yeah, I had a crash on a motorbike and I wasn't wearing a helmet. And so I think I from then on I'd always wear a helmet after that, because I smashed up my face and my knee, and it looked very dramatic, but
okay.
I didn't feel it at the time.
Okay.
It was quite late at night.
I mean,
I went all floppy.
We're talking about accidents and that. Are you off? Give us a final thought before you go.
Take care of yourself.
Okay. I mean, what do we need to have a few accidents in life in order to learn?
You live and learn. You live and learn.
Okay.
You live your life and learn what you did before. Learn what happened before, and
not to repeat again.
Not to repeat again, or else you'll break more bones than last time.
Okay.
Thank you, Heather.
Hello.
Okay. Is it okay? Thanks very much. Thanks for getting involved, and come and sit down. Come and get involved in this, people. There's no age limit here. We found out that Sab's dad is a driver. What's your dad's name?
His name is Sid.
Sid, okay, we're going to be talking to Sid. Mahmood?
My accident was I fell on one time, so I was playing football, and then someone kicked the ball on my face, and then my lips start bleeding. And one time,
what did you learn from that?
One time someone pushed me, and then I fell down on a brick, and then it hit my face.
We heard about that one already, didn't we? Anyway, where are we going to go with this? Do we need to have accidents in order to learn? That could be a question. Do we need to actually, to feel the pain sometimes? Timno, what were you going to say anyway?
I wanted to speak about the lovely paintings in the kids' faces. I think they're beautiful. Did that hurt?
Did it hurt?
Yeah.
Did it hurt to get your face painted like this? Did it hurt?
No.
What design have you got here?
Unicorn. A unicorn.
Did you choose it or did it just get...
No, I chose it for both.
Okay, you chose it. How did you feel about... is that your sister?
No, my cousin.
Your cousin choosing the thing, choosing the face. Come and get involved in this. Are you going to get your face painted? Yes, you can do it. I'll give you a round of applause. What's your name? What is that? Shakira, welcome. We're talking about accidents and more importantly, learning from accidents. We're also talking about face painting. Are people happy with their face paintings, or is that also an accident that you can learn from?
Yeah,
Are you going to get your face
I'd
painted?
like my face painted. Where do I go for face painting?
Just down there, just over there, the other side of the rock.
Okay, and who chooses the design?
Who chooses the design? I think it's you choose the design, don't you? Okay. What's your name? Emma? Laema chooses... What? Normally people talk too quietly, but that's too loud. What I want to do is bring in this. What's your name again?
Zishan.
Sishan, have you got any views on this? Either the face painting or the accident thing? Are you going to get your face painted?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay.
I think he feels that he's too old for it now.
Are you too old? What is the age limit? Would you say for face painting?
Right?
What would you say the age limit for face painting is? Because Teddy is talking about getting their face painted.
I don't think there's an age limit. I just
You
think
don't think there's an age limit? Yeah.
No.
What do you think then?
Okay.
I just don't.
It's not for everybody, I suppose. Okay, so are you going to get your face painted?
I might, just to copy her.
Okay. Are you going to get the unicorn motif?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's my inspiration.
Okay, I'm going to go around the table on this one. You've got your face. You're going to get your face painted. Are you going to get your face painted?
I would love to, but I have a question to you,
Yeah.
Naima. What should I get on my face?
Butterfly.
A butterfly? Was that a butterfly or barfly? Did you say?
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Okay, I thought it was barfly. And are you going to get your face painted?
Maybe.
Maybe. What design are you going to get?
I might get a butterfly as well.
Butterfly. Why are butterflies so popular? Did you choose your own design?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a dragon.
A dragon. Did you choose your own design?
Yes.
And what is it?
It's a Batman glow in the dark.
Okay, fantastic.
Can I say something?
Yeah. I regret saying yes to that. All right, so where are we going to go with this conversation? I feel like we need to move it on. There's some driving. Yeah. Did you want to say more about driving? Because in a way we can link these things because we're talking about learning stuff.
Yeah.
Do you need to have accidents? Teddy had an accident when they were driving a motorbike. Do you need to have accidents actually to you've had accidents? I'm thinking twice about lending you my van now. Do you need to have accidents in order to learn?
I mean, if you're in that position, the main thing is you want to avoid the accident in the first place.
Yeah.
So, for example, my dad tells me it's not about being the fastest driver; it's about being the safest driver.
Okay,
so, a driving instructor's objective is to make the student the safest driver.
Yeah.
And that's what my dad always tells me. So, I mean, I'm taking lessons with him now. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm actually building his website for him. So
Okay,
he's the local
it's a
driving
good
instructor.
exchange.
His name is called Sid. He opened up his school called Tutorial Driving School.
Yeah.
So you can check it out. It should come on as a local driving school on Google. But yeah, he always emphasizes that you need to be a safe driver, not about fast.
Can I just ask? Because sometimes there's a learner driver and all the cars behind are like We haven't got a beeping. We've got that.
Okay, so
They're beeping their horns.
yeah,
but-
so I think this one's really important. You mentioned that because I think it's the instructor that gives you the confidence to carry on as normal. Do you see? So if your instructor is a good instructor, then you'll have the confidence to carry on as normal, and that's what I do. They can horn as much as they like, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to learn here, and yeah,
but we have to. It's like chili sauce. You have to be very minimal with the sound effects. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm going to turn that down for now. We've got a new face at the table. Tell us your name.
Hello, I'm Fulia. Fulia.
Fulia.
Yes.
And we have got Shakira. We've got Timna. Anas gone, but we've got Margot. We've got Teddy. We've got Alia and Lamaya. Laima, sorry. And what's your name again? Rayan. And we've got Mahmood, and we've got Mahmood, and we've got Omar and Mahmood, and what was it?
Zishan.
Dishan, okay, and Sabs, and I'm Mikey, and we're talking about learning from accidents. Can you learn from an accident of a sound effects? Don't unplug it. I just turn it down because there's too many.
Unfortunately, I need to.
Give us a final thought,
I need to take.
Sabs.
I'm in final thought now.
You've been the voice of wisdom here today.
Okay, I'm in final thought. The first, talking about accidents, sometimes you gotta have an accident to learn, and we all know this. So you kind of take the positives out of it, you know. So, and I'm sure everybody who's been in an accident has taken the positive out of it.
So even though it's a bad thing, you can learn from that accident.
Exactly, it's the mindset. It's the mindset behind it. You think about it positively. You can take the positives out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we will be contacting Sid for the driving school. Would you like to learn to drive?
I think it would.
Thank you. We'll give you a round of applause. Hang on, let me just. There's your round of applause.
Thank you.
All right. No singing on Talkaoke. That's really important. And then that's an accident waiting to happen. Fully, have you ever had an accident? And do you agree with Sabs about?
I believe in learning by experience. So the accidents are a great way of learning, or an important experience. So I'm now seeing it's like a Final Destination movie for me. So that water can spill on your thingy, on your electronic stuff, and
it's also
so that I would give that one as an example.
It's all 12 volts, so it's not
that would be an accident.
That would be an accident,
and you would learn from
Yeah,
that.
I would learn not to do this job. Okay, right. This is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. We're talking about accidents. We've just had a little accident here while we were worried about that side of the table. That's what happens sometimes. Come and have a seat. We have got Omar. What's your name?
Tessin.
What's it?
Tessin.
And we've got Teddy. We've got Timna. We've got.
This is my son.
We've got Mum. Another Mum.
Yeah.
We've got Shakira. We've got Fulia. And Mikey. And we're talking about accidents. Do you actually accidents actually good in a way? Do you learn from accidents? This phone has got talking about accidents. That's Marco's phone. Do you learn from accidents? What do you say to Sing?
I don't know.
You're not sure? Have you ever had an accident?
Yeah.
What happened?
Once,
Yeah.
basically I dropped a glass of water on the carpet.
Yeah. Hang on.
And then there was loads of water dripping in the night.
Hang on. Yeah. And what? And did you get into trouble for that?
No.
You didn't. Okay. Did you learn from that?
No.
No. Okay. So maybe. Hang on.
Should I press this button?
Hang on.
This button?
No, too many buttons really. I'm gonna have to just take this into my hands. That's gonna be a. Okay, come and sit down though, because where are we gonna go with this? We've got Margot. We've got Margot. We've got Omar. We have got what's the name again? Anas, that's right, and Tassin, and what's your name?
Alina Rahman.
Can I call you Alina, is that okay?
Yes.
And what's your name?
Hadra.
And we've got Timna over here, just put it back on, it'll be fine. We have actually learned fully from these accidents because this is all, we say beer proof, but obviously that means as well proof, all sorts of proof of all kinds of tricks. Come and get involved in this. Tell us your name. Come and take a seat. What's your name? Anisha and
Alicia.
Anisha and Alicia. I'm going to get confused here because we've also got
Anisha, Alicia.
what's your name, Alina?
Yes.
So we've got Alina, Anisha, and Alicia. How am I ever going to do? Anisha and anyway, please excuse me if I get it wrong. We're talking about accidents. Have you had an accident? Have you learned from an accident? We've learned maybe never to do this job ever. In this kind of, but yeah.
It's funny because the whole conversation about accidents started because somebody wanted to talk about dinosaurs. That's and right. Then a lady said that apparently ages ago, before they built this used to be a hospital ground, which I didn't know, and that got us onto talking about accidents. But I just wonder what else is there in this ground, like what else is going on? What is the history of this area?
Do people know? That's a very good question. Do people know the history of this area? Let me get rid of the Timna?
I don't know anything about the history, sorry for that, but why is it actually, it's part of Poplar, isn't it? Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is it called Poplar?
Why is it called Poplar? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Is it Anisha?
Yeah.
Anisha, you look like you've just come from school and you've been studying. Do you know why it's called Poplar?
No, not at all.
Okay. Do you know?
Maybe because it's popular.
Is it because it's popular? Maybe.
I like that.
Okay. Anyone out there know? We need some information. Why is it called Poplar? Do you know? Well, come on. Okay, we'll give you a round of applause. Why is it called Poplar? Come and tell us. We've got a lot of young. Tell us your name and tell us why it's called Poplar.
Adam, and it's called Poplar because before there was an archbishopric here. The church had grounds in this territory. They planted lots of poplar trees and cedar trees.
Why did they plant poplar trees?
Because usually within the jurisdiction of the church, they're dealing the borders of the church grounds with trees.
Okay, so it's the border of the church.
Yeah,
okay,
the grounds of the church.
Thank you. That's a great answer. So now we know it's because back in the day there were poplar trees around the church. Did you know that?
I thought popular was called popular because it was popular.
Okay. Is popular though? What do you think? And it's come and tell us, what do you think? Is popular?
Oh my God.
Is it popular? Popular?
Yeah, popular.
Is it popular?
Yeah, popular.
It is popular, okay. Mate, do you think they should rename it to popular? Should it be renamed to popular? What do people think? Would you rename popular?
No.
No? Right, I'm going to turn this down because this has got over the top now. Okay, so where do we want to go? Do you want to talk about history? Do you want to talk about the trees in the area? Do you want to talk about whether poplar's popular? What do you want to talk about? Have you got any thought? What's your name?
Donna.
What's it?
Donna.
What do you want to talk about? Any of those subjects? Do you know enough about the history of this area?
No.
No, okay. But we need Adam back here. Maybe these people, they look like they're intelligent. Did you know why Poplar's called Poplar? Well, come over here, we'll tell you. Okay, so we have got Anisha, we've got Alicia, we've got Margot, we've got Omar, we've got Anas, we've got Teshim, we've got Alina, and that's where my memory ends. What's your name?
Anaya.
Amana.
Hadra.
And
Sophia
and Dana and Shakira and Fulia. Come and get involved in this. We'll give you a round of applause. Tell us your name. Someone can take a seat here.
I'm Clive.
Clive. All right, Clive. Before we kick off, you don't know why Poplar's called Poplar?
No, embarrassingly, I don't.
Okay, well, according to Adam, who's gone now, it's because originally there was a bishopric here. Well, I don't know what that is, so someone else can tell us. And there was trees planted around the border of the bishopric, which are all poplar trees. So now you know. Would you like to know more about local history?
Oh yes, please. Yeah.
And what's your name?
Nick.
Nick. Okay. Do other people want to know more about local history? I think that's Okay, I think that's a real... Okay, well, what do you want to know? If you don't want to know about local history, what do you want to know? Do you want to know about Clive and what's that again? Nick. Clive and Nick, do you want to know... What's that?
I know about drinks.
You don't want to know about drinks?
Yeah, I don't know about
Is
drinks.
this your drink?
No.
No, okay. Where do you get the drinks from? Does anyone know? Yeah.
The drinks come from over there, but I'm interested in this area because I know the docks are not so far from here. Last time we did Talkaoke in this area, there was some people saying they go fishing in the river. Well, it's a canal, but I think no, it's a River Lee, I think.
Yeah.
And I wonder whether that's something that people just do here in this area. Do people just like go and fish?
Okay, has anyone here been fishing? And give us a final thought, Anisha, before you go.
I've been fishing on a school trip.
Yeah, I've been fishing.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And what was it like?
It was fun.
Was it close to here?
No, it was for residential.
Do you think it should be more? There should be more fishing around here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have some show of hands. Who here would do fishing if you could do it locally? Okay, so are you?
Yeah, I live Hampton Court Way, so I go fishing there on the River Thames sometimes.
Yeah,
I don't catch very much, but
okay.
I go there. Is it legal?
Yeah.
It's up from 16th of June till I think it's about 13th of March or something. You can fish. You can't fish between March and June. You have to.
Okay, so you can't fish in the spring. No fishing in the spring. Okay. All right. Anyone else want to go fishing or want to know about fishing? Yeah.
I would like to know if the water is clean enough to eat the fish which you fish.
Okay.
I don't eat them. I put them back again. Animal rights. You just for the thrill of catching them.
Why do you spend all that time waiting to get a fish and then put it straight back again?
Because I've got a family at home, so it's nice to escape the family for a few hours.
Okay, so
It's an interesting point because actually the person when we were talking about fishing here a while back, they were saying it's just something that a man has to do in life. You have to go fishing. Well, as a woman, I don't have that compulsion, but I would like to go fishing. But I don't feel like it's a big landmark of my life. Is it the same for men?
Let's ask Lisa. Do you do fishing, Adam and Adam's friends? Do you do fishing? Come on, yes. Let's give Adam a round of applause. Yes, come on, they're coming to the table. So, I'm not going to introduce everyone all over again, but have you got any interest in fishing? What do you think about the fact that nobody really knows the local history apart from yourselves? Are you disappointed by that?
Oh, we don't know much about local history, just a couple of facts here and there.
So you don't know that. What about fishing? Do you do fishing?
No.
No? Would you like to do fishing?
Yeah, it'd be lovely, but I don't think we have a communal area to do it. I think you have to get a license, no?
You need a do you need a license to do it?
Yeah, the river license.
I mean, could there be something like a sort of like collective license for the, one for Aberfeldy Village or for Oxbow? Could you have a license that everyone could borrow? Would that work, do you think?
I have no idea. Maybe something could be arranged by the council, but I don't know.
Okay, could the council arrange it? What do you think about fishing?
I think fishing's alright, yeah, but I've never partaken in fishing myself, yeah.
If you were to get a fish, would you throw it straight back in again?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that seems what everyone does. Come and get involved in this. We're talking about fishing again.
A reunion.
Nick, do you do fishing?
I don't do fishing. No, I want to know what it's like to live here, though.
You want to know what it's like to live?
Yeah.
Where do you live?
I live miles away from here. I live down south, so nowhere near. Surrey, down. Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell? I'll tell you what. We'll do an exchange. Tell us what it's like to live in Surrey, and then we'll find out what it's like to live here.
It's quite nice because you can bounce up to town quite quickly, or you can go the other way and go into the woodlands and quite close to Gatwick, so you can travel away. Not that we are at the moment. So yeah, it's quite nice.
Okay, it's quite nice. Okay, what is it like to live around here? Any thoughts? You live around here?
Yeah. Just over the side, actually.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what is it like to live here?
It's nice. It's a very nice area. People are very agreeable.
Yeah.
It's all newly built for the most part, 3-4 years.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like a community still, Aberfeldy Village.
Yeah.
You've got the Christian market on the far side, and then you've got the high street, and it has a very kind of like village-like feel. It's very
village-like feel. Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah. Have you ever lived in a village?
No. I've been to villages, but I never actually lived in a village before. No.
Okay, but it has got that. It's imagine what it'll be like to live in What you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Is it what you'd imagine it will be like? Okay, what do other people think? Fulia, do you live here?
Yeah, I live here.
What is it like to live here?
It's nice
Grab the
actually.
mic as well.
I've just moved in. I mean, it's been a few months,
Yeah.
and I'm really enjoying it. It's very close to everywhere, especially the city center, and you can connect to any area in any
So good
location so
connections.
quickly. Yeah.
And what do you live around here as well?
Yeah, of course, yeah. We both live around the area, yeah.
Okay, so you live. What's it like to live with a brother?
To live with a brother.
Yeah, it's a good. I was a smile there. You know, some of the other young people we've had today.
I love my brother. He's.
That's fantastic. Yeah, so it's good. Obviously, I mean, when you get a bit older and get your own place, do you think you'll be living close to each other?
Definitely, yeah.
And will you be living in this area, or will you be living elsewhere? Come and get involved in this. What is it like? We're talking about what is it like to live in this area? Is it a good place? The feeling we've got at the moment is very village-like and community and friendly.
Well,
yeah.
I was 7 years in the street.
Yeah.
I came here.
Yeah.
I love this community.
You love it? Oh, it's fantastic. So it is a good place to live.
Beautiful place. I don't have too many roads.
Yeah.
Too much pollution, but the place in general.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful.
Okay. I'm just going to take that as beautiful, very beautiful. Teddy?
Well, yeah, I'm just intrigued that it's called Aberfeldy Village. I was actually born in Surrey as well. I'm from Surrey. I'm from a village. So I was born in Epsom, and I lived in a village. Which that village was very different to this village.
Yeah.
I think there was 300.
Does this feel like a village to you?
It's not the village that I'm used to. I'm used to 300 people in a village.
Right, okay,
at
so
tops.
it's too many people.
Well, I've just wondered what makes a village. Where does a village become a town?
Okay, all right. You're welcome to leave and come at any time you want to. What's your name, by the way? I'm Mikey. Thomas.
My name is Thomas.
Thomas.
And this place is beautiful.
Okay, thank you, Thomas.
This is Bart. Good to see you.
Okay, Clive, give us a final thought. And where do you live as well?
I live Hampton Court Way.
Hampton Court
Way.
Yes.
Yeah, so
and how
down
does
by
this
the
compare to here?
It's very different. The good thing about this is how close it is to the city. You can see the big towers in Canary Wharf and stuff. So it takes me an hour to get into London to work, whereas here you can get in quickly. And so it's a very different area, but we've got a bit of a community feel in Hampton Court, but not much really, to be honest. So there's probably a bit more of a community feel to it.
Okay, so it's got more of a community feel. Maybe we could sort of thank you, Clive.
Thank you.
Are you staying, Nick?
I'm going to shoot as well.
Okay, well, give us a final thought then.
Final thought. Well, I actually wanted another question, which was, what's the most popular thing in Poplar?
Okay, well, one of the questions earlier on...
Local history and community, is that...
One of the things we were talking about earlier is renaming Poplar to Popular. But I don't know, is Popular was another question. What's the most popular thing in Poplar? And should we rename it to Popular?
I would say definitely the docks just by East India, And renaming it to Poplar, I think we should keep its name Poplar.
Okay. Leave it to Poplar.
Yeah.
No, there's no
keep
U
its
in
local
Poplar.
culture.
Okay. Thanks very much. Okay, we're going to keep this conversation going. Thanks for joining. Where do we go with this? Do we talk about the community? Do we talk about there's no U in Poplar? Where do we want to go?
Maybe where everyone's from, what brought us all here today. And,
okay, can I just ask you, where are you from, Adam? Are you from the local area?
Oh, yeah, born and bred in London, England, Whitechapel.
Okay. So in the way, what's your name? We didn't get your name.
Anise, sorry,
Was it?
Anise.
Anise.
Yeah.
So we know you're probably from the same place as your brothers. Where are you from?
I'm from Austria.
Okay. And how did you come to be in London?
How do I come to? So I met a German dude in Paris where I used to live, and then I came to London.
Yeah. So you came. I'm taking that you came for love. Oops.
Yes.
Oops, that's a wrong button. But anyway. Okay, where are you from?
Ireland.
From Ireland?
Republic of Ireland.
Okay, whereabouts in Ireland?
Tralee.
Tralee?
County Cork.
County Cork, wow, amazing. How does Poplar compare to County Cork?
I don't know because I stayed there for 1 year.
Okay, so you can't remember it really. Have you been back?
Huh?
Have you been back to County Cork?
Yeah, I've been there when I was in 2018.
Yeah.
and then I came back here.
Okay, so that was a while back. Okay, so where are you from? You already said you're from Surrey.
Yeah, I'm from Surrey. Lots of rolling hills and horses and countryside.
Okay.
Rolling hills.
Hang on, where's my...
just on a bigger scale. What? That one a horse.
Yeah, I can't remember where the horse is. This one.
It's a horse.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll turn it
where the derby's raced.
Yeah.
Where the derby's raced.
Okay, where are you from?
I'm from northeast Poland, from a town called Białystok, and it's famous because it produced a man who came up with an international language of Esperanto and other things as well.
Okay, and where are you from, Julia?
I'm from Turkey.
From Turkey. Hoş geldiniz, Londra'dan.
Hoş bulduk.
And whereabouts are you from in Turkey?
So I'm from Adana, from south, near Syrian border.
What is Adana famous for?
Kebab.
Kebabs.
So Adana kebabs.
Yes. Okay, so we've got people from all around the world. It's amazing, really, isn't it?
I've got one more.
Yes, we're talking about where are you from and... we're talking about where you're from and what you're kind of bringing to the situation. We've got Fulia, we've got Adam, we've got Anis, we've got Timna, we've got Tashin, we've got Teddy, we've got Margot, and we've got
Shahid.
Shahid, yes.
I forget your name, sorry.
Mikey. And
I'm Muzz.
And did I mention Fulia? I can't remember. But we're talking about where are you from? That's what we're talking about at the moment. Adam asked the question, where is everybody from?
Okay.
And then interesting that we've got northeast Poland, Epsom salts, yes. We've got the salt. We've got Republic of Ireland, County Cork. We've got somewhere in Austria via Paris. We've got Whitechapel, and we've got Adana in Turkey, famous for its kebabs. Muz, where are you from?
I'm from the north of England, Leeds.
Yeah, from Leeds?
From Leeds.
How does Leeds compare to here?
It's much smaller.
It's much smaller?
Much smaller,
When you say smaller, what is smaller?
It's just the city's small. It's easy to walk around. You can. I mean, it took forever to get here, but in Leeds you can just get around so quickly, and you're out in the countryside.
Right.
When I say it's small, it makes it sound like it's not so nice, but actually that's not true. It just means it's easier to get around. I'm not saying that. It's because it's small. It must be rubbish. It's not. It's great because you can get around.
Yeah.
You know, it's like whereas London, no matter how far you walk, you never get outside of London.
So you can't just keep walking and in the end you end up in the countryside. Shahid, where are you from?
I also am from Leeds, and I would actually second what Mr. Muzz over there said. I'd say, it's quite a small place, but it's quite nice. You know, I mean, it means it's very relaxed on the buses. You just go around. There isn't the underground to have to contend with and rush through and everything. It's kind of nice, and you get the countryside immediately on your doorstep. You know, so you get out of the city very quickly. Whereas here, like you said, you'd never get out of London.
Okay, you can keep walking. What about the idea that you keep walking and walking and walking and you never get out of the city? Anisha, what do you think about that?
We've recently, me and Adam, we went and visited our sister in Reading, and she of course lives in a very small village. And I remember we walked for 15 minutes was it? And we were already outside of the village. It was
that
very
a bit of a shock to you?
It was very, very shocking.
Okay, we've got a new face over here. Tell us your name.
Oh, hi, I'm Jenny One. Nice to meet everybody. Oh, actually, some people I've already met at the studio. Yes.
So Jenny, we have got Margot, we've got Teddy, we've got Tassin, and we've got Timna, we've got Anis, we've got Adam, we've got Muzz, is that right? Yeah, and we've got Fulia and Shahid and Mikey, and we're talking about where are you from? Where are you from, Jenny?
Originally, I came from Shanghai, so yes, I lived in England for a long time, and I lived in Leeds before I relocated in London, yes.
So you've also got a Leeds connection. What do you think of Leeds?
Well, I loved it, because I studied in Leeds before then in 2008 because of the job, so I relocated to London, yes.
So, I mean, is that why you relocated relocated. Are you brothers? Because we've got two brothers here. This is like a brothers talk. Brothers and brothers.
Yeah, we're two bros. So we relocated here for work.
Did you relocate together, or do you?
No, separately. Yeah, he dragged me down. He dragged me down to work in the theatre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ran away to the theatre. Like that's what I did. I ran away to the theatre.
It's always family connections.
You got a fascinating kind of Chinese accent with a Leeds accent. Leeds, you got Leeds accent.
Yeah.
I know. So sometimes, because I remember when I first moved to London, when I say Starbucks, as in Starbucks, so people say, "Oh, you're from Yorkshire?" I say, "Yes, I lived in Yorkshire for a long time."
In Leeds, we know Starbucks is Starbucks. I mean, where do we want to go with this? Do we want a Starbucks in Poplar?
First time I came to England, 1984.
Yeah. And where are you from?
Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, okay.
Yeah.
So Seam is from County Cork?
No.
No, he's from County Cork.
I said Northern Ireland. No, that's Southern Ireland.
Yeah.
1984.
Yeah.
As productions told me not to move, or otherwise they would rescue under offensive terrorism act. I can't say. Do not move. I will rescue on the offensive terrorism act.
Right.
Yeah. Ever since, that's hospitals.
What's that?
Ever since.
Yeah.
Come on my mouth. Yeah. You want to arrest me?
Okay, so I mean, has that changed now? Do you think that people still want to arrest you?
No.
Yeah.
I tried to come the security guard. Come over here.
Okay, so you've still got the issue. People want to
stigma. Stigma.
There's a stigma attached.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. And what do other people think about that? Is there a stigma attached to where you're from?
I think people always assume that I'm like from either Southern Europe or from more the Middle East, but I think like there are a lot of stigmas, like also like to everyone. Well, not to everyone, but to just to give you an example, my niece and my nephew, they are half Brazilians, half Austrians, and their father has dark skin, and their father always gets like asked at a railway station to show his passport. So it's kind of like even, let's say, institutional discrimination.
Okay, so this is a good point from Thomas. The point about stigma. There's all sorts of different stigmas attached. Has anyone else got experience or friends or relatives of stigma about where you're from or what you look like? Adam, have you got?
A question for Mike, I think. Mike?
Thomas.
Yeah. In regards to stigma, do you think it's got anything to do with Catholicism in the Republic or Protestantism in the North?
Catholic, yes.
Yeah. Is it about that, would you say?
I was in the British Army. Yeah, well. My British Army is full of Protestants who had problems with me. They thought I was like infidel. Yes, but I wasn't. Okay. Well, yes. Yeah.
So, in a way, yes is the answer to that. What about anyone else? Stigmas?
Can someone make a definition of stigma?
What is stigma?
Yeah.
Can someone say what stigma? I'm going to ask Shahid because you look like you're a sort of person.
Stigma. I think the root of the word comes from this notion of a kind of stain. A stain. It's something that causes problems in terms of your identity, in terms of where you're from, your background. It may be that, for example, if you're from Cyprus, you're from the Turkish side of Cyprus, then if you stray over into the Greek side, they might not like it. They might think, why are you hanging around here? This is our territory, our place. So, and so there's a stigma attached, can be a stigma attached to many things, but especially identity, I guess, where you're from.
I'm going to ask everyone, do they feel they've got these stigmas, a stain, says Shahid. It's a kind of stain,
I served in the Nation Peace Corps Force. In 1987.
In Cyprus?
Yes, in Cyprus.
Oh, wow.
I've been both sides. Right. It's hard to explain what official things, but our Nation Facebook
was it tough to be there?
Not for me, but for them. Turkish Cyprus. There's actually an airport in Nicosia. It's been there from the 60s. You know, bro. Airport, Cyprus, yes. Every year, the British Army have to take over this fucking airport. And they have to account for every fucking thing on the airplane. That's the back surgery, bro. And where you come from.
So that was quite tough, by the sounds of it. I've got a new face at the table. Tell us your name.
Loretta.
Loretta, we got Jenny, we got Margot, we got Thomas, we got Teddy, we got Tassim, we have got Timna, we have got Anis, we've got Adam, we've got Muz, we've got Fulia and Shahid, and I'm Mikey. Mate, we're talking about stigmas. Stigmas attached. There's all sorts of stigmas. The stigma of coming from Northern Ireland. There's a stigma of looking a little bit dark when you're travelling around Europe. There's a stigma between the Turks and the Greek Cypriots.
There could be class stigma. There could be a stigma attached to, for example, the language that you speak.
Yeah.
If you speak in a dialect that is not accepted, not seen as like the official language, it sort of smacks of being uneducated or being from the peasant class. You know, that happens in Bangladesh, for example. You know, Maz and I, we come from the northern part, which is a kind of more rural area, and so the language we speak is a different dialect and is basically seen as a more sort of bumpkin version of the official Bengali, which is the one that you would hear televised or on radio broadcasts. You wouldn't, and though that's changing a little bit, you do get now radio stations that broadcast in our local language, our Sylheti language. But that is also a stigma, you know, where you get the language base.
That's interesting. So in a way, there's a kind of north-south divide in Bangladesh as well. Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question about this, and given that this is a predominantly Bangladeshi neighbourhood, and I read articles that say that the Sylheti dialect of Bengali is looked down upon and isn't in the Dhaka News or in Chittagong. Is that true?
It's not. It's like talking in a language that isn't really written down or used in books or used in media. It's just a spoken language, so it doesn't have a kind of.
Let me get a final. Sorry to interrupt. Let me get a final thought from you, Jenny. Is there a stigma attached of coming from China or from Leeds?
Well, I'd say yes, but probably in China. Well, should I say? Well, so everybody can hear now. I better be careful, right? I better be careful. I have to say yes. So the short answer is yes. But how depends. You know, it really depends on who you actually meet, who you deal with. You know, their background as well. So I have to say, you know, if there's anything, it's a true reflection of those people rather than.
So it's not a reflection of you.
Yes.
It's a reflection of the person.
Of the person. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I would say, you know, they never take it personally. We just do the right things. You know, say the right things, and we'll be okay. I don't. You know, really don't care what they say, what they do to us. You know, so yeah.
That's a great final thought, Jenny, and don't take it personally. It's a reflection of them to people. How easy is that? Has anyone else had a stigma attached to them and felt judged? But how easy is it to just say, that's about you, it's not about me, and not take it personally? And you don't take it personally?
Never.
No? Okay.
No. It's not a problem, it's your problem.
Okay, so it's actually the other person's problem. And go on.
I think I struggle not to take it personally. So I know.
Have you had a stigma attached to you? Or Where are you from?
Well, I'm from London, but my mum's from Wales and my dad's from Malta, and a bit Scottish. So it's a bit of a.
And what kind of...
Is this on? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Do you want me to turn it up a bit more?
No, it's fine. It's good. No, that's too much.
Okay, so it's hard not to take it personally. I'm going to come to you in a second, Shahid.
I totally agree with Loretta. I think it's that's my opinion. I think for me it's hard to not take it personally because, of course, in a certain way, I want people to think like specific things about myself, and then if I know, okay, they don't think what I want them to think about me, it's like, oh shit. But yeah, I like what Jenny said also, like, actually, don't give a fuck. No. Sorry.
Because everyone thinks they're the best person in the world. So when people upset your point of view,
it's hard. I mean, it's easy in the way what Jenny said, but is it easy to do? To not take it personally? Give us a final thought before you go. Have people ever judged you or said something that's unfair about you?
No.
No. You're lucky.
Yeah.
What would you do if it did happen?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Well, I guess the message here is don't take it personally. Have you got any other final thought?
No.
No? Okay, well thanks for joining. We're going to be... We're here all afternoon, so, so stand by. So where are we going to go with this conversation? To how hard do people...
There's another stigma. There's another stigma which is to do with, for example, actually belonging. But then if you don't want to belong, then you may not be accepted. So, for example, of religion, if you come from within the fold of a religion, it could be Islam, it could be Catholicism, it could be... But then you want to show that... Oh, you don't want to show anything, but you just don't partake. You're not part of it. Then stepping outside of that can be seen as something quite wrong or erroneous somehow. And so then stepping outside of that fold, you get flack. You're coming your way.
Being a bit different.
Being a bit different. Being not the same as the other people. That can have a kind of quite a horrible stigma.
Okay, so there's a stigma of not being involved in religious activities, be it Islam, Christianity, whatever.
Or not following you because I don't believe what you believe. If I don't believe in you, I'm not saying I don't. If I said to you, I'm sorry, I disagree with you, I can stigmatize you.
Okay, so it's almost that there's a stigma of disagreement as well. Let me go to Muz because I don't want the one brother to dominate. Don't want there to be fights afterwards.
There's a stigma of actually being British because we used to go to Bangladesh when I was young with my family, but they found it quite hard to sort of adjust to the idea that we couldn't speak Bengali very well. So to them, we just seemed a little bit kind of, I don't know, mentally disturbed or something.
Right. Okay.
Because if you can't speak the language, you can't communicate very well. Then I mean, here everyone we see a lot of variety of people, but for there they didn't see that kind of variety, so they automatically thought, well, there's something wrong with him. Would go to my mum about, is he all right? Is he that sort of thing? So there was that kind of stigma attached.
Okay, so they thought you were a little bit slow because you couldn't speak Bengali. Okay, can we get involved in this? We're talking about stigmas. What do we do about it? How do we deal with it? We have got Timna, we've got Anis, we've got Adam, we've got Muz, we've got Fulia, we've got Shahid, we've got Loretta and Thomas, and I'm Mikey, and who have we got over here?
Hi, I'm Melissa.
Melissa?
Yes.
Okay, because you said I'm Melissa, and I thought it might be I'm Alyssa, but it's not. I'm Melissa. I'm not Melissa. I'm Mikey, and you're Melissa, and we know everybody else. So we're talking about stigmas, and we're talking about because some people said we had Jenny from China via Leeds. She said if people judge you, it's their problem, not yours. But is it that easy? And then we're talking about Muz and Shahida from Bangladesh. When they've been back to Bangladesh, people judge them because they don't speak fluent Bengali, and they think they're a little bit slow. And we know that not to be the case at least from the last 15 minutes. So that's what we're talking about now. Is how do you deal with that stigma? How do you actually overcome it? Is it that easy? Loretta, you're saying you can't help but sometimes take it personally when people come up with these judgments.
Were you from Turkey, did you say? No?
From here originally, but originally from Algeria.
Algeria, okay. Do you get any sort of judgment about that? Can people tell that you're from Algeria?
Usually they say Turkey.
Right, okay. It's like a catch-all for Middle East. Okay, right,
I'm just surprised. Really say Turkey because for me Algerian Turkey is so different. So I'm surprised. Why do you say Turkey?
No, it's other people say.
Other people. Sorry.
People say.
Okay, sorry, I got that wrong. But I have. Can I say? With stigma, what you mentioned, Thomas. I think I forgot my point. Sorry.
Okay, well let's just rewind. We were talking about people getting judged.
Stigma.
Yeah.
I never had a childhood. I want my face painted.
This is for you.
Thank you.
You want your face painted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
I've never, because I've never had a childhood.
Now's the time to do it. I do it now.
He won't let me go on.
No way. Okay, we'll have to do some negotiation here. I think you should. That's how I guess the whole thing. Come and get involved in this. We're talking about stigma. How easy is it to overcome stigma? We know that it's other people's problem. but it's not that easy to actually overcome it or not take it personally. We've got a new face. Tell us your name.
Nats.
You're too far away there. Nats. We have got Melissa, we've got Timna, we've got Ennis, we've got Adam, we've got Mus, we've got Fulia, we've got Shahid, we've got Loretta and Thomas and Margot and Mikey. Oh, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I got my point back. So Thomas was mentioning the stigma of discussing, like of disagreeing, and I think disagreement. I think, I don't know if it's a stigma, but I think he's right by saying like people are so afraid of really like opening up and saying their own opinion because they think sometimes it's bad to like disagree, and I think it's totally fine to disagree, and in the end it's like, okay, I think something different, but we can still respect each other.
It's a bit like what you were saying, Shahid, about the walking out or stepping out, not even walking out, stepping out of a religion. It's that stigma of disagreement.
Well, there's this thing where you can say things like, I think this thing, but then you make qualifications. You say, even if you think differently, then I still will, respect your disagreement and so on. But if somebody actually literally is completely, sort of walking all over your point or somehow being very different from the stance that you take, then it can come across still nonetheless as a like a slap across the face or something, So it's very hard to be disagreed upon and not take it personally somehow.
How do you do that? How do you, when you disagree with someone, how do you make it not be a slap in the face? Nat, Melissa, have you got any views on this?
Owning it. Yeah, I think you have to own it rather than just attacking the person, but just the thought. Or that's how I would say it. And then also just owning it is really, really important.
What do you mean by owning it?
Really standing behind it, but not in a way where you're like, I'm right and you're wrong, but also just being like, I know that there's other opinions out there,
but this is mine.
This is mine.
It belongs to me. Okay. Loretta, have you got any views on all of this? Do you ever disagree with people? Do you find it hard to disagree with people?
Not necessarily. I like to voice my opinions, but sometimes it doesn't go down well because it's not what the mainstream say. So
Okay, sometimes it's a bit hard to say things outside of the mainstream. Hang on a sec.
Speaking of mainstream opinions and popular narratives, I'm interested as to what everyone thinks about the reporting on major headlines and events in the past 5-6 months.
Well, give us an example.
The war in Ukraine, the UK economy, the vote of no confidence with Boris Johnson, and
okay, so you want to get political here, but what I feel like this is what we do sometimes when something like this comes up. We call it a turn the mirror, because it's like, okay, you've asked everyone else what they think. I did it with the man who said, what is it like to live around here? I asked him straight away. I'm going to come to you in a second, Thomas, but what I want to know first is, what is Adam's opinion about politics? Give us one subject and one opinion, and then we'll throw it around to everyone else.
It really depends. I mean, I don't like Boris Johnson.
Okay.
And
why not?
I think he's been terrible as Prime Minister. He's really hoodwinked the population into following him with populist policies that really held no water. He's been very dishonest. He's broken our trusts times and time again. With the whole issue with COVID, and then PPI and the corruption involved in securing government contracts, and then now in his direction he's leading the country with his He's tried to change term limits and increase his time in office. He's considering potentially running for a third term, which is something unprecedented. And I think that the inclinations of his character are quite worrying for democracy in Britain as a whole.
Okay, I mean, is there anyone you'd rather see in power than Boris Johnson?
I don't see any reasonable alternative at the moment, but as a Prime Minister, I think he's lost all credibility. I think the only thing that he's really latching onto now as a crux is this conflict in Ukraine, and that's the only thing that really manages to gain him some kind of momentum. Otherwise, he'll be out.
Okay, so thanks for that. We're going to come around. We're going to find out what other people think about Boris Johnson. Any thoughts on Boris Johnson?
Love him.
You love him? Okay.
Just going on what Adam said, when it comes to the conflict in Ukraine in particular, I do think it's one of the only things that Boris is really using to keep himself in his position. Because when it comes to the mainstream media, it really does centralise on what everyone's just viewing. Because I think society as a whole and people at large, they just go around what's being popularised. They really do look at just things like on Instagram or things on social media as a whole, and they try and view things that other people are talking about, and they put their own opinions onto that when they truly understand very little on the subject.
And do you feel frustrated about that?
I wouldn't say frustrated, but I think it would be a lot better for society as a whole if people would really educate themselves more on subjects before they went to go and talk about them. And looking in particular at the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, I think Boris Johnson using it as a scapegoat, really, when it comes to mainstream media, to really push away attention from his downfallings.
Okay, let's spread this around.
Media in a whole, what do you distract what's wrong? So they tell you, I've been now. Government doesn't want you to know what's truth and what is not truth, okay? It's propaganda, bro.
So you think it's all propaganda? I mean, is it about, as Anise said, making an effort to educate yourself and to find out what's really going on?
Propaganda, bro.
So you're just always going to have the propaganda? What other people?
No, bro, I've been there.
You've been there, okay.
I know what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's propaganda. Russians attacking Ukraine.
Yeah.
That's not good, is it? Yeah. But people actually want to help Ukraine. Yeah. Put 300,000 forces around NATO. Yeah. But he wants to know who's helping us.
Yeah.
They can't go in there. They can't put forces inside Ukraine because that's direct conflict with Russia.
Okay, so we can't actually get further involved into Ukraine. What do other people think about this? Shahid, have you got a view on it?
I don't know, it's a very complicated subject, isn't it? I mean, when Ukraine was attacked, I would say quite simply, you either have to decide that somebody is the aggressor and it's no more complicated than that, or other things are going on. And
I mean, what do you think about this point that you need to know more about stuff before talking about
I agree with that point, but then I wonder how far can you, I mean, yes, you've got to go to a certain extent, but how, and when you, so I agree. Basically, I agree. You know, you got to read up about something before you can really make an informed judgment. So people just sort of latching on to the coattails of whatever they already know, which might be very little, is not a good idea. But in fact, nowadays we're very almost like sort of pushed to do that, or suggested that we do that all the time. You know, just what's our opinion? What's our,
Okay, so in a way, we're forced to make these decisions based on very little information, when we should actually know loads of information.
But I wonder whether we ever did. Did we ever really read all that much? Or, some people did. It depends on the media. I mean, like what articles you can access, what stuff you can read. And I think probably the range of articles you have these days, a lot of it is just stuff to be just written for the sake of writing the stuff. And
how do we find out what's really going on?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
Good question. Okay. All right. We've got some new faces. Tell us your name.
Hello, I'm Evie.
Evie. We've got Thomas. We've got Nat. We've got Margot. We've got Timna. We've got Anise. We've got Adam. We've got Muz and Fulia and Shahid and Mikey. We're talking at the moment about. Well, it all came about, what do we think of Boris Johnson? Not much, says Adam and Anise, but also this question about whether we're really informed about what's going on. It's all propaganda. And then we go to Margot,
I just wonder because, in terms of how much information comes out from all the channels, not just TV, but YouTube, like everything. So basically everywhere we turn, there's like somebody's trying to communicate or sell something to us. So I wonder whether sometimes, in order to get people to make wrong decisions or uninformed decisions, we are just being overkilled with too much information, and then out of that you just, the strongest message stays. It's just, barrage of stuff. You can get a headache from that.
Okay. Hang on a sec, let me just come to... I'm going to come to Adam first.
I think the interesting thing is that in the news recently, you see all these events in the conflict being framed as though they're somehow major breakthroughs. We spoke about the HIMARS missile system and the rockets deployed to Ukraine to assist in fighting Russia's long-range artillery. The news, of course, has an agenda, to sell newspapers, to make money, to be, to be successful. And I think at times they deliberately frame events as though they're massive breakthroughs or as though they're extremely consequential, when in reality they're just necessary day-to-day components in a war, ups and downs, which are not really necessary, they don't really explain massive advances or great losses in any detail. For example, just to put into context, when Russia launched its invasion in Ukraine, I think it was on the 28th or 24th of February, we had the news that the Russian army was now suddenly armed to the teeth, equipped with the best tanks available, the best rocket systems, and could storm cities with relative ease. But in reality, the Russian advance that was being portrayed on BBC News as a really triumphant and really strategic set of maneuvers was a complete blunder, where there were strategic mistakes being made constantly. Soldiers were trying to outmaneuver cities and cut supply lines, but in the process getting caught up by Ukrainians. The actual picture on the ground wasn't kind of synchronizing with what we saw.
Did people want to know what was the details of what was going on? Were they interested in it, or what was the purpose of the reporting?
I think
for us in the UK, and also my other question is, how did it make you feel to hear all about these things happening in Ukraine?
It didn't surprise me because of the context of the conflict that's been going on for the past 8-7 years now, and since 2014. This conflict hasn't emerged in a vacuum. It's been going on for a very long time between two separatist republics who are supported by Russia, and the fact that the Russians decided to push for conflict, given they couldn't make any concessions with diplomacy, wasn't something that I think would be unexpected, given Putin's track record on Georgia and in Chechnya.
Okay, so then, what are we actually getting here in the news? I also want to know this, what is our response as well to the news that we're hearing? Hang on, and come and get involved. Yes, have a seat. We've got a spare seat there. Fulia's not said that much, and she's sitting around the table, so come and sit. Muz, I'm going to give it to you.
I was just going to say that, it's just ordinary citizens. We've got very little power to influence events. What we can do is speak, we can listen and so on, but in the end, that's not actually influencing the events. And I think, I think democracy needs to have a way of actually, for it to actually be, to be effective, to involve people more effectually, so that it's not just a question of, like a vox pop or whatever of people listening to what you say, but things actually happening because of what you say.
Okay, all right. So, and I'm going to bring in Evie because you've not said anything yet. But
I wonder, because it made me think. I think you said earlier about fake news, and I was reading something the other day about because I feel like I get a lot of my news from social media, even if I don't want to. I do, and then you think, oh god, what and then you question what you're seeing. But they were saying, whenever you see something on social media, you should always look at what they're saying, but then who's saying it, why they're saying it. So have they got an agenda? What perspective? Not necessarily agenda, but what perspective maybe they're saying for them, and also when, which actually surprised me, because a few things that have popped up recently, I think around the war in Ukraine, might be stuff that actually was from a few years ago, but it comes up on social media as saying it's from now.
So in a way, in the social media mill where everything is now.
But if everything is without a foundation, everything is, I don't know what Muzz thinks, he reads a lot of social media stuff as well. If everything is floating on a surface where there's no real kind of foundation stuck to the ground, and that's solid, that's real, that's true, then how do we know anything? How do we base anything, or any of our opinions on any kind of true information?
Okay, that's a big question. We've got a new face at the table. Tell us your name.
No.
What's your name?
Margaret.
What was it?
Margaret.
Margaret, we have got Anise, we've got Adam, we've got Muz, we've got Fulia, we've got Shahid, we've got Timna. And Matt, I don't know if you want to have a go in the middle in a second, Timna. Are you okay with that? And we've got Evie, we've got Thomas, Teddy, and Nat, and Margot, and I'm Mikey. At the moment, we're talking about the war in Ukraine. How do we know what's going on there? What is our response? Can we do anything about it? Do we even know what's happening? So this is what we're talking about right now. Do you trust what's happening in the news? You don't get involved? Okay. Thomas, you were going to say something.
I was, but you took so long.
Oh, sorry. It was a big sum up, I know. Yeah, maybe we get rid of me, just like getting rid of Boris Johnson and get some fresh blood in the table. Do you want to have a go, Timna? Yeah. I'm going to jump out and we're going to welcome a new host, because it's not just... Then I haven't said my opinion, I get to say my opinion now about all of this. I'm just going to spin around, Evie knows the drill. We're going to keep it warm. So, Timna, come in on this side. Come in over here, Timna. Are you going to come in? I'm going to take this off. I'm going to give the mic to Shahid, because you've always got something to say, and say something, and then we're just going to...
I've always got things to say, so big up the talkathon. All right, so Timna's going to take over, and we're all looking forward to that, and we're wondering what her spin is going to be on this thing, and the whole thing is about spin. Anyway, that's exactly what we were saying, that everything's a kind of spin. So it's spinning around. Think about what is really true and fundamental whilst everything's spinning. And now,
I think we
without further ado,
a new Talkaoke host. Yeah. Let's make a huge round of applause.
A round of applause for
Shahid.
Shahid. Okay.
It's quite big on the radio.
Hi peeps. So my name is Timna, and this is Talkaoke, pop-up talk show format, and I'm gonna restart with your names because I might have forgotten some of them. So we have Shahid,
Mikey,
Evie,
Teddy,
Nat,
Margot,
Anise,
Adam,
Muz,
and Fulia, and good luck with names because Mikey was great.
Actually, that's kind of a competition, but we don't say it. Yeah, but he's the king of the names. Yeah. So, Margot.
I mean, here's my question apropos of names. What do you do when you see someone and you don't remember the names? Because it gets so orcs. Like, what are people's tips on how to deal with this? I'll write them down.
Because I see a lot of hands, Teddy.
So, yeah, well, you can smile to start with. That's always a good place. No, it's all in the smile. It's all in the smile. There's several different smiles.
Okay, so what do you do? Thomas, what do you do when you don't know the name of someone?
Hi, bye. Hi, God. Bye, hi.
Okay, you say hi? Okay, Evie, what do you do?
It happened to me recently, and my policy is usually just be very honest and say, I'm really sorry I've forgotten your name. But I think that the person actually, was a bit cross that I'd forgotten their name. So, exactly. Okay. And I feel that, so maybe there is no solution to this problem, because I think I did it in like, I'm really sorry, I've drawn a blank. Can you remind me your name, please? And then they went, oh.
Okay.
So I don't really know what to go. Or you just say, I'm Evie, hello, and you just really hope that they just come in with their name.
Okay, so Evie stands for honesty, which is great.
No, I don't think honesty works, I'm afraid. It happens to me all the time, because as I remember everyone's name now, tomorrow I won't remember anyone's name. So I really struggle, and it happens because I meet so many people. It happens to me on a daily basis, and I never remember. Also, I've got the kind of face where like people can tell that I'm like really troubled and panicking as well. So they know as well. But what I tend to do is I wait for about 5 minutes. I engage them in a conversation, try and pick up some clues. Then when I finally work out who they are, I come up with like a really obscure fact that I know about them, and then everything is saved, pulled out of the bag.
Okay, so Mikey works with kind of a bridge to get to the name. Shahid.
Oh no, I was just going to say, when I came here today, I'd forgotten Mikey's name, you see, but I used Evie's trick of just being very upfront, very honest, and just saying, oh, so you know my name? Well,
I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, you see, so it's just honest.
That's great. So another person for honesty. What's your approach?
Well, I think honesty doesn't tend to work. I mean, I've tried that a few times as well, and it's not worked.
Why?
I think people just, because a name is like your personal identity, isn't it? So it's like you've forgotten them. But actually, in some ways, I mean, you recognise their face. So you're halfway there. So I think people shouldn't take it too personally, because there are so many people and there's so many names to remember.
Okay, so Mars says our names is a part of our identity. So let's come back to Evie.
Well, I'm actually an identical twin sister, so I get very used to people not knowing my name or calling me by the wrong name. So I feel like I'm less precious about it because people are so confused anyway. But then how do you sort of translate that onto someone else? I feel quite laid back about it.
That's interesting. Okay. So.
Technology will help us because very soon, I think even now, your phone will know a person based on what it will know the face. So if I took a picture of you, actually there's technology out there to say this is Timna. So all you need to do is take a selfie and then go, let's have a selfie, and then the name will just come up.
So should we use technology to remember someone's name? Oh, I come to you, Thomas. One sec. Give me 1 second because we have a new face on the table. Hello. Yeah. Where's the new face? It's here.
I wouldn't say it's a new face, but my name's Ian.
Ah, hi Ian. Nice to meet you. So, wow. So, yeah. We have Teddy, we have Naj, we have Margot, Thomas, we have Anise, Adam, Mars, Fulia, Shahid, Loretta, Mikey, and Evie! And Ian, of course. So, and I will come to you, Thomas. You had a point on, so we were chatting about names. What do you do? Give me 1 second. We were speaking about names and what do you do when you don't remember name of a person you're meeting? And do you take it personal if someone forgets your name? And Thomas had a point on technology because Mikey was just mentioning that we have technology to remember names.
Yes, technology. 5 years ago, I had to go home because my mom died, right? I didn't have a passport. Told me to stand there. I scanned me on the kidney. How did you get my eye scan? How did you get my eye scan?
Yeah.
How can you claim me?
I'm not sure if I
understand. How can you claim me? They don't know me. How can what's called British Airways? How can they claim me?
Okay, so. How could you name?
No. Iris scan.
They were scanning your eyes.
Yeah, they scan my eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. So hi, when you look into your phone, every time you look into your phone, bro.
Okay. So.
When you go media, you go public media, you're given an iris scan. These people sent me back home for an iris scan. I don't know British was. How did that? Wrong.
Yeah.
Believe me, your data's not safe. None of your data's not safe, right? I scan me.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so I scan. I think Margot has a point, and then I will come to you, Shahid.
I know somebody who's we're actually going live on Facebook, people. I don't know if anyone's on Facebook, but well, we are now. There's 0 watchers, so don't worry. Your identity will be protected. But I happen to have a friend whose dad works for, I can't really say, but whenever, and he wanted to show me some pictures from like a family get-together that he attended with his dad. And I said, oh, who's this dude in dark glasses? Oh, that's my dad. Or he has pictures of his dad like facing the other way from the photos, like full on like turn. And I said, oh my God, why is he not on the photo like properly? So he needs to protect his identity because of his job. And I'm like, you hear about it on like in the film, but I've never seen it like in real life. It's like, oh yeah, it's my dad, just the kind of job he has. It's shocking.
That's interesting. So Shahid, do you protect your identity because of your job?
I absolutely do not, and I think it's a crime, because these days, you watch anybody that goes that's of any renown on television, and there'll be like a lowdown, a list of like how they protect themselves against the depredations of people that want to steal their identity, that want to use their identity, that want to follow them, and so on. So you really have to these days be aware of your digital footprint. You really do. So, and I don't do anything about it. So I think in one day I'm going to become a cropper because of it.
Yeah.
One day not in the not very far future.
That's interesting. And I have a question to Fulia, because I just recently saw your beautiful picture over there.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet.
So how do you feel about your identity, which is now hanging over there with your beautiful?
Yeah, it was okay for me. So actually, I wasn't thinking that it would be this much visible, but in the end, yeah, it's okay. So I don't have that kind of security issues and such. So
Okay. So from what I understand, you're not like afraid of that anyone could like use it in the wrong way. Yeah.
I mean, in a way, we just have to get used to this, because the technology is there just to identify we can't actually be anonymous anymore. You know, even probably turning your back in photos. Eventually, the computer will know what the back of your head looks like.
Yeah. And I think Teddy's bursting to say something.
But
Hello,
what if you
welcome.
changed your name? Would that be anonymous?
Would that,
Online or? Do you mean online or just
Another character.
I still think it would. Because I think your identity is less just like what your name is, or like it's more like the patterns that you generate from, like, I don't know, using your phone, using social media, buying things. So I think your identity is less about how you choose to present yourself, and more like how the data's all connected. So I think it's more like we actually probably have less control than we think.
So, Ian, are you going to leave?
No, I'm coming back.
Okay. Okay. Adam.
I was thinking. Sorry, give a second. Is it me, or is it the frequency?
I think now it works.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I was wondering, when it comes to identity, an interesting thing I was thinking about a couple of days ago was social media and death. You know, when you have Facebook accounts and Instagram, and someone passes away and their sites become kind of obituaries to their lives. Do you think culturally there'll become a time, maybe in 50, 60 years, where people begin to mourn their loved ones in a virtual environment, as opposed to, you know, holding on to the memorabilia of the possessions they may have held? It's a bad phrased question, but it's the crux of what I want to say.
Yeah, that's a really interesting. How are we handling situation like that when people are dying? Are we going to mourn via social media? Adam is asking. What do you think, Shahid?
Well, I think it's partly already happening. You know that. Facebook profiles are long litanies of and collections of people's memorabilia, their photographs, their memories, and so when people pass, then it's sort of passed down through the grapevine, through these kind of channels. But at the same time, I think it's a bit. I don't know. It's a difficult question, because I sometimes wonder what happens to anybody's actual memorabilia when they pass, when they die. I mean, recently, not so long ago, 3 years ago, our mum died, and then we had the whole process of sort of gradually sort of passing on all her stuff. But when somebody has a lot of stuff or a lot of possessions, what happens? What goes on? I don't really know. I don't really what happens.
Yeah. So I think Mikey had a point before.
No, but I think, with Facebook, we know so much about people that I think, our current year naming system is like based on the birth of Jesus and 0 AD, but I think we'll have a new historical moment. It will be after Facebook and before Facebook, because our history, the way we study history, has changed so much. It will have changed so much. You'll be able to look back and see in 100 years' time the selfies that people were taking 100 years ago.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, cool. So, Abby, what do you think?
It was interesting what you're saying about like when you're like left with a load of possessions, because I think we had a similar case of we were like getting away, clearing out our house of my grandma's for that, but then we had all these photos, like loads, like thousands, like more photos than you could like deal with. There were boxes, and in the end we were just like, okay, we just had to divide them into people we knew, people we didn't know, and just like landscapes and pictures and flowers, and all these like really nice photos we couldn't do anything with, because we're like, well, we've got so many boxes of stuff to sort out anyways. But it felt quite odd, and so yeah, we rationed it, but like, let's find the people we know, try and find the people we don't know, know. But so in some ways, maybe digital.
Managed to get it all out.
Yeah, and give it away to people as well. Yeah.
So, Shahid,
Facebook's got data on that. So.
Shahid, let us know what you think about what will happen to the digital heritage.
Digital heritage, yeah, that's a good question. I really don't know. I mean, all I can say is that historically, previously we've only really had. We've not had so much recordings of things, and recording as in visual, as in audio, and so on. The last 100, 120, 150 years, maybe we've begun to have that, and it's only increased. It's only exponentially increased. So like billions and billions of photographs uploaded every day, never mind every year. So where that eventually ends up is anybody's guess, and where what that will lead to is anybody's guess.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So my question to you to this round. Are you afraid of your, let's say, digital heritage? What will happen after?
I think we've given away a lot of power to technology companies. I mean, they promise like a utopia, we're just connecting people. We just, people can talk to each other and so on. But we've seen in the last few years, abuses of power by Facebook, by other technology companies, and Facebook themselves have sort of stopped their sort of face recognition sort of technology because they already have it, but because of the bad publicity that I think that's come out, they've stopped it for the moment. And I think what's important is because as virtual spaces are part of our heritage, we need to sort of learn how to democratize them. Rather than just say, oh, it's the resort of the technology companies.
Yeah.
It needs to be more democratic.
So what Mars is saying is that virtual spaces are part of our world right now, and I think Adam has a point on that. Hello. Give me 1 second, Adam. I will hand it to you because we have some new faces. Hi. What's your name?
I'm Lorna.
Lorna. Hi. What's your name?
I'm John.
Hi, John. So this is Talkaoke, a pop-up talk show format. So, and we are here with Anis, Adam, Mars, Thomas, Shahid, Loretta, Mikey, Evie, Ian, Teddy, Nash, and Margot. And I'm Timna. Nice to see you. And we are speaking about... I'll try my best. I have a competition with Mikey, so... we are speaking about, at the moment, about virtual identities, about our heritage, what happens with our virtual identities after we have passed away. And I will hand the mic for 1 second to Adam, because he had a point, and I'll come to you, Ian.
Recently, Facebook has created what they call the metaverse. They've rebranded, and they're trying to sell this idea of alternate reality through social media by creating a kind of space where you can replicate life in this form, but project it onto VR. And I was wondering what people think about the ramifications of potentially digitalizing our lives and actually crossing over with that kind of trying to bridge those virtual reality with our own lives, and what the dangers might be if we would take it too far.
That's a good question. So maybe Ian has an answer.
Not an answer. I just wanted to point out that since I've been sitting at the table, I've changed my identity. I'm now Mikey.
Okay, so we have
and
two
I
Mikeys.
run Talkaoke.
I hope I will not get confused.
I have all these bank account details, and I'm very rich, I tell you.
Okay, and have you changed to Ian, or?
No, you don't want to do that.
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. So Margot.
Yeah. What about switching identities? I quite like the concept of that.
Okay. So hands up, show of hands. Who would like to? Who would like to change their identity? Show of hands. Okay. 1, 2.
No.
Okay. 3. Margot.
I mean, why not? I mean, we were talking earlier about how at Glastonbury people dress up, and sometimes that kind of changes them. They really embody the outfit that they're wearing. Okay, this is like, that's a kind of maybe a parody or something. Like somebody suggested dressing up as a strawberry. I mean, whatever. But
But I think switching identity will be absolutely brilliant. Just to switch identity for a while and just get into the shoes of other person. I'd like that.
And what would you? I'm interested, Margot. What would you like to be if you could switch identity?
It's a secret.
Okay, that's it. Shahid, I think you.
I was going to say that there are some people like Sacha Baron Cohen who would take on an identity, and it's so complete that it's sort of universal. It's all everybody knows him as that person for a while, you know. And I think possibly it causes some kind of ruckus in the mind. You know, you kind of find it hard to deal with in some sense, like who you really are, what you really are. I mean, it's okay when it is entertainment and you know there's a kind of payoff because you're going to get paid for whatever it is that you're doing, your talent, your special ability. But if you take it too far down to where it starts to play with your mind and the sort of sense of what reality is, then it gets difficult. And people like other actors, certainly. I mean, like who's that guy? Jim Carrey. You know, like it played with his mind. You know, it's like a sense of reality. You know.
So Shahid thinks that we could take it too far by changing and switching our identities. I will. Evie first, and then you.
Well, I guess because like we kind of got onto it by thinking about like living in the metaverse, and like maybe you can like change your avatar, change your experiences from that. I don't know. I think you're probably more defined by your actions than anything else. But
good point.
But you know, maybe it is affected by also how people see you as well. I wouldn't want to. I don't know. I feel better. I don't like the concept of like being on the computer the whole time. So I don't like the concept of living through the metaverse. No.
Thomas, give us one. Okay.
Yes. It's not the accents. Other people's interpretations of reactions. Okay. Well.
Okay, so interpretation of the action. Mikey.
There's just a point on Facebook Live saying, "Oh my God, Mikey is amazing," but I don't know if they mean the old Mikey or the new Mikey. I'm not sure. So there we go. We don't know. I sort of agree with that, but I think the point that Shaheen made about confusion, I think we're already confused about our identities. We're only going to get more confused when we can change it all the time.
A male can be female.
Ian?
Yeah, there was
Mikey, sorry.
There was a guy in the First World War who dressed up as an officer. He was a regular private. I think it's called a monocled mutineer. And he frequented all the clubs that the officers went to, and he got away with it. I think he may have got shot in the end, but there you go. The idea of having a different persona, if sometimes if you want, you can adopt it. Like I run a computer business and I'm really a rich man, and that's a load of rubbish. But you don't know that, do you?
Yeah, that's interesting. So you have a point. Sorry, now I forgot your name.
John.
John. Okay, John. What's your point?
I was going to say that on the point of like. Of actors taking on other personalities. The game that we all play when we're watching things of actors doing other things is we all know that they're putting on another personality. The difficulty with stuff online is that there's an anonymity where we don't know whether somebody is putting on another identity or whether they are themselves. And within that there's a danger. When we're watching something, it's a game that we're all collectively playing together.
Oh.
When we're online, there's a danger there that we don't know who's real or not, right?
Yeah, that's interesting. So John is actually speaking about the rules, also about online rules, and how are we handling the situations with our avatars, actually, online avatars. Mikey?
Well, I just want to bring it back to what Adam and Anise were saying about Ukraine, because we really don't know what's happening there, and there is that sense of real sort of mistrust about, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a war going on and people getting killed, but what actually is happening, we don't really know.
That's true. So what does actually happen, and how are we influenced by social media in that?
Well, we were talking about stigma earlier, and I found that being on social media, I actually had to face quite a bit of stigma, and I think a lot of it was to do with the fact that I'm Muslim. I don't face that stigma in everyday life, but on social media, it was quite heavy, and a lot of them aren't particularly upfront about it. They sort of do it in a sort of sly kind of way because they don't want to be accused of things. But and I think their anonymity protects them, which is completely unlike real life, because when you see see somebody, you see their face, you see who they are, even if you can't remember their name, or they haven't told you their name. But online, it's very different.
Yeah.
And I think that goes again to what I said about democratizing the internet, which means having that kind of accountability there, because democracy is about accountability.
That's really interesting. So Mars is saying about, or explaining us about, or telling us about his experiences online, getting stigmatized online on social media, and people actually hiding behind their own avatars. Ian, what do you think about that?
I mean, I've heard stories of people that would change their name because a particular company were more inclined to employ people of a certain background, which is obviously disgusting. And the fact that it works is even disgusting. Why should somebody change their name? So, there is that kind of route. If you hear a name, you automatically attach things to that name, and most of it's wrong anyway, because people are individuals at the end of the day.
Yeah, good point. Give me 1 second. I will. Lorena, was it Lorena? Lorna, sorry.
I think that point's really interesting because, throughout history, women have had to, famously, women authors will, like J.K. Rowling or the Bronte sisters would write under male pseudonyms so they could get, their work seen or taken seriously. But that, I don't know whether that is their identity. I suppose it's one of their identities, but that is all about how you're seen rather than how you feel, because I'm sure that I've forgotten the one that wrote Little Women, you'll know. But she definitely wanted to be taken seriously, and as seriously as a man, but she felt uncomfortable with writing underneath a man's name.
Yeah, so what is it part of our identity if we're going to also switch our names? And that, I think you had a point, Shahid, or
I'll carry on.
Mikey?
No, I mean, the thing is that there's a bit of an issue with that, because then this kind of misperception that, which I think existed in Victorian England, that only men wrote books, gets continued. Because, I mean, I'm not saying they were wrong to use male names, but actually then you never find out that women actually, they can write books.
Well, I think not necessarily the case, because there might be a kind of reality of the situation on the ground. So if the situation back in the 19th century and earlier was such that women just weren't as successful getting their books published, then they would have taken that into account and maybe created a pseudonym for themselves, a nom de plume, so as to create an image that they were men, men in men's worlds. So George Eliot is another example. Yeah, George Eliot. The Brontes wrote the name Bell, I think. Bell. So yeah, I thought Jonathan's point was really good, that when people create personas in the acting world, we understand that it's a kind of gaming that goes on, and whereas when we create avatars for ourselves and we create false avatars or mess about with the sense of reality and sort of say, a man's a woman or whatever it is, it could be, you're 56 when actually you're only 28 or the other way around, then that really sort of can cause a lot of difficulty, I think, and there are people that do that quite a lot, but I wonder how far it can go before things implode.
Okay, so what are the difficulties if we change our identities? Okay, Lorna.
So I think there's changing identity to live more as how you feel, which if you're honest about, I don't know whether that harms people, but I think it's the lying that's actually dangerous. So, for instance, what you're saying about pretending to be a different age, like catfishing in the dating world, if you're pretending to be someone you're not to trick somebody, to be false with them, then that's not fair because you're not giving the truth. But if your identity is closer to a way that maybe people don't see you as, actually living as that different identity might be more truthful and more honest with society.
Okay, so what Lorna is saying is also it might give us possibilities. I will come to you in a second.
I'm interested on the consensus and people's opinions around the table on things like, talking about identity, differing sexualities, orientations and genders. What do we all think about that, given that we have quite to an extent an older demographic and a younger one? It'd be interesting to see the differences in opinions and how they might play out.
Okay, so let's see, Shahid.
Well, yeah, I mean, nowadays the trend thing is to say, you know, gender is fluid and that you can be different things if you want to be something different. I wonder whether at base, though, you know, there's a reality to which everybody perhaps cleaves, you know, everybody clings to. You might not agree with it. You might think that, in fact, you know, you should be able to, in a world that's so sort of fluid and so virtual, you should be able to play with your identity and be who you want to be rather than who you, for whatever reason, are. I mean, there was the case of Rachel Dolezal. I can't remember her name exactly, but Dolezal, who was a white lady who pretended to be black, you know, and she sort of had some surgery or she had things done to her hair, and that was all to promote the idea that she was from the black community. I mean, in the end, it caused more harm than good. She said she did it because she felt that she was black. She was closer to the black community than she was to her own, and it caused a lot of, you know, so it's an odd world we live in, I think.
So for you, it causes a lot of confusion, kind of a way.
Yeah, but I mean, you've also got, like, for example, my stepfather is Pakistani. Now, I don't look Pakistani, but I've got some relationship with the Pakistani culture. If that had been my real dad, then I would be looking a lot different. But I can't really call myself Pakistani because it's just not. It just wouldn't go down, basically.
That's interesting.
But I've been brought up by a Pakistani man.
Okay, Evie?
I think, I don't know, I think for the case, actually it might be similar. I think the case that you brought up, Shay, it was, I think she'd been adopted, so, but I think a lot of the criticism was like, why do you feel you need to do this? Why don't you just speak as someone who'd been adopted by a black family and speak about, because a lot of it was about injustice, but she took it in a way that was kind of like she was catfishing a whole community and standing for a whole community. So I think, you know, and you know, everyone's, I think,
what is catfishing?
I don't know.
We were talking about fishing. Is it fishing fish?
No, it's when you pretend you pretend you are someone else to someone else, which sounds quite. So I might be saying, you know, I might be on a dating app and actually saying I'm a 49-year-old man who loves, I don't know, catfishing, exactly, no, fishing, and then I'm not, and then you lead that person, you develop a relationship with someone under that pretense, and it's that idea of consent, I think, is like where it gets lost, maybe. So.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah, you say that like it's a bad thing. Anyway, the kind of change in your identity that strikes me most as a good socialist lad is that the fact that a lot of working class are discriminated against and encouraged to become middle class, join the property ladder, that kind of thing, and aspire, join a local golf club, aspire to middle class attributes. Mm-hmm. I'm fiercely working class. When I went to university, I was pretty much the odd one out, you know, and it was quite hard to maintain in a way because everybody thought I should be on the property ladder and no interest in it whatsoever. So I think we do change our intellects, we do change our aspirations, but some of it is forced on us. Yeah, if you're middle class, that's because you've got a nice house and your child goes to public school or something, you know?
Thank you. So I have Shahid and I will come to you and to you, Maki. You had a point? Okay. Okay. Lorna?
Just quickly on that, that's a really interesting thing with like code switching. So I think that I speak to someone, my voice might change, like posher if I'm with one of my posher friends, and then when I'm with my hometown friends it will go less posh, and it's not conscious but it's probably semi-conscious, so I feel like more with my community. Mm-hmm. Or I feel this is a neutral but I think that that's not necessarily dishonesty, but sometimes it feels dishonest. I don't know. Like when I've
Okay, what does code switching say about us? Lorna is kind of implementing. Mikey?
I mean, I think there's some things you're allowed to change and some things you're not allowed to change. But I also want to pick up this thing that people do change. They actually develop and they change. They've got. So does that mean the identity changes, or is their identity something that they're kind of like shackled with?
That's a good question. What is identity, Shahid?
Well, I guess there's something that perhaps we can argue is fundamental to us, to the self, to ourselves. And then there's other things that are formed through collective identity, through collective, to something we do together, or for example, buying a house. If we see other people buying a house, and it's like keeping up with the Joneses. It's kind of doing the same thing as they are doing, and kind of following that model. So both things are sort of true, but both sides are true. That thing about code switching, by the way, is a very good point. I mean, I get the same thing. People ask, why have you lost, if I have, by the way, lost my Yorkshire accent? Why did I do that? Why did I, you can sort of go away feeling, oh, have I been dishonest? But really, I guess, it's what you feel comfortable with, for whatever reason it is that you may have changed it, and which also means you can change it back. You can, switch.
Yeah. So we're speaking about switching identities, and Margot, you have a point.
So why do people have got such an issue with, let's say there's like as if there's a barometer of like, oh, this is the truthful behaviour. This is, oh no, you changed now. Why don't you have this accent anymore? Like, why do people do that? Is it because they're less educated and they don't understand that this is possible to do that? Like, why do people confront? Why?
I think there's like a continual internal fight for everyone against like establishing and being confident with what you currently have and accepting that we are humans that will continually change. And so a lot of people have in their head ideas of who you are and who we are, as in they have ideas of identity. And yes, that's true. You have to hold on to things that you consider to be important to yourself, but then accepting and allowing that other people change and that you will change and that life is a continual process of change. I think that's the space in which people feel happier. If I hold on too strongly to ideas that I have of my friends, you're never a person who's going to go skydiving, you're never a person who does this, then it blocks off their ability to move forward and to change, as you said, and to consider and to move forward. So it's like that constant battle between like what's important to me in my core identity and what am I allowing myself and other people to change. I think,
So which is the kind of way from which we should find the perfect mixture? Adam?
I think maybe it's important to have a standard of morals or values in life that kind of cause you to gravitate towards a certain lifestyle, provided if you have a strong sense of self and you want to actualize your self-identity. I think it's important to be able to be consistent with what you believe in and to make sure you don't compromise those values regardless of how circumstances may change. You may change as a person, but having that kind of scale that will keep you going forward in life is really necessary. To feel as though you've achieved something incrementally in life and to feel as though you're grounded under some basis.
Okay, cool. Hello, we're speaking about identity. What do you think about identity?
All right, there you go.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm not much of a speaker. It's fine.
Okay. What you can sit and just listen.
I was just being a bit nosy, just see. What
okay, then say. My name is Timna. This is Talkaoke, a pop-up talk show format, and we are here with Adam, Anise, John, Lorna, Margot, Nash, Taddy, Ian, Evie, Mikey, Evie, Mikey, Loretta, and Shahid. And, Mars, of course. And what's your name? Felicia. Nice to meet you. So we're speaking about identity, and you had a point.
No, I think there's a point about consistency, but I think for consistency, it's only you. No one else cares whether you're consistent, and they don't measure it. It's only you personally. And I think for me, one thing I've learnt more recently is that in a way it's about honesty, and quite often I feel awkward, but I've realised I can actually channel awkward, and it's okay to feel awkward, and actually people quite like it that you're feeling awkward, and they can tell. So in the past I would hide that, but now, which probably is even more awkward, now I just do it. I just do awkward, and it works well.
So Mikey is really honest about his own awkwardness. You too, Mikey too?
Yeah, I work on a building site, and the building site mentality is incredibly bad, misogynistic, homophobic, and I've already made it clear to them that I am relatively PC, and I will pull them up on certain things if they say it. And they think I'm a bit weird for it, but I think it's important to try and change your culture. You need to, and being true to yourself, even in that extreme, is I feel is important to me.
Cool, great. Shahid?
I both of what the two Mikeys have said, I would go with. I mean, on the one hand, there's that thing where you kind of bend a bit and you change and you kind of alter and you're a bit not yourself. You're a bit awkward. You might feel a bit neurotic, and all of that. You kind of that's you as well. But there are certain things that you want to abide by, because otherwise, if you don't do it, if you don't follow that sort of moral, you used a long word there, hard word, moral, but sort of sense of what's right, true to yourself, then you'll feel it's a bit naff somehow. You've been a bit naff. You've been a bit wrong somehow, wrong-footed.
Yeah. So, is it about embracing our own awkwardness?
Where do morals come from, Shahid?
It's a question to anyone, really. To anyone.
It comes from the society that we live in.
Face, what's your name?
It's like why do we speak English?
Yeah.
No, because just because we live in a kind of Christianity-dominated world and Anglo-Saxon dominated world, that means a lot of people speak English, and why do we speak English? I mean, a dude from my hometown tried to introduce Esperanto. That didn't go so well, but a lot of people in China speak it because they don't have that Christian stuff to link to, or that kind of Latin origin of words. So it does work on the occasion. But I think in terms of morals, I think maybe we just need to rebrand that, because I think morals is just like, it just gives people, there's like something that you can't change. I think people, if they're left to their own devices, they won't necessarily go and kill each other, and therefore, I think morals have been created because people supposedly are not trusted. They have to be controlled, and they cannot be trusted, because the minute they start working things out like we are kind of working out here, that's dangerous. That's what.
So should we change morals? How could we change morals? Rebrand them. Lorna?
I think a point on that as well is I'm not sure about, everyone has different morals, but we all agree on some things, and that it's not nice to hurt people. But I think that, especially with talking about like identity politics and stuff, and especially with like online social media stuff, it's really interesting about culpability and accepting when you've made a mistake or you've done wrong, which I think is something as a society, like, it should be a moral that we talk about more, like admitting you're wrong. Yeah.
Or how do we do with
apologising?
How do we tell people, or how do we tell ourselves? Let's go to Anise and I'll come to you.
I think when we're young, of course, we all have norms and values that are instilled upon us by our parents, and that's natural. But there is a sense of humanity in which everyone has, well, unless you're a psychopath, but there is a sense of humanity in which everyone has these values in which you shouldn't kill people, you shouldn't steal, because it's just morally wrong, and everyone knows this. And going back to what Lorna? Yes, sorry. Going back to what Lorna said, when it comes to that values and these stuff, when it comes to politics in general, these values are, sorry, I'm losing my point, sorry.
So we were speaking about, let's make a quick recap. So Lorna was mentioning how should we deal to tell people that they're wrong and how to apologize.
Yeah.
When it comes back, let me know. Ian and then Abby.
I find what our friend just said frightening, because, and we all know it. I mean, I read today about 3 people that killed a child of 5 years old, and I think their moral compass was slightly awry when they did that. There's a guy called Thomas Hobbes who said, who was arguing for the monarchy, and basically in a book called The Leviathan. And he said that if we didn't have the monarchy, our lives would be short, brutal, and many other things. And the idea that Christianity, the Ten Commandments, brought in this kind of code. I mean, I don't know what happened before that. Was people killing it? I mean, human life in the last centuries was very, very cheap. You know, you get executed for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, you know. So I think value of human life, I don't know if it was started by the Ten Commandments, but I'm a Christian and it's a pretty good code, but I'm not sure, why are there evil people in the world?
Good question. Ellie, do you have an answer?
I don't have an answer. Well, I think that maybe there just are. It's just one of these shit things that happens. But I don't know. I think maybe people try and explain it, you can't. But I think it's interesting when you talk about morals and you talk about forgiveness or getting it wrong, or getting things wrong. You've got a final thought.
Anise, Adam, could you give us your final thoughts? It was a pleasure meeting you.
Likewise, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. In regards to morals, I think that to a certain extent we have certain values instilled in us from a young age, and they're reflective of core virtues of empathy and respect and humanity. Ultimately, every society forms them relative to themselves and to their situation. You go to Africa, maybe a country in the Sahel region like Burkina Faso or Mali, and it might be virtuous to, I mean to say that, relatively speaking, cultural values are relative, and I'm sorry, I'm going to circles right now. Thank you very much for your time, guys. It was lovely, and take care. Thank you.
And if I could just say on religion in general, I do believe that religion is a very important part of life, and I think that it's not just that a non-religious person isn't born with the same values, but I think a religious person, a religious family, especially if you look at the 1960s, for example, in America and the US. If you look in America and you look in the UK, then you have a kind of Christian society, a very pious society, in which people are brought up with very, very good norms and values. And I think a lot of the world should be a bit more like this.
What's your name?
Her name's Amelia.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
And what's your name?
Elena.
Okay, so we have Elena and Amelia. Great to see you. This is Talkaoke, a pop-up talk show format. And we have here Nash, Teddy, Evie, Mikey, Loretta, Fulia, Mars, Thomas, John, and Lorna. And I'm Tina, and I'm coming back to you.
What was I talking about? Oh, we're talking about getting things wrong and guilt and forgiveness. And it was interesting that the other two just said it, that I think although there are lots of problems with institutionalised religion, and I don't know if that's just institutionalised humans, but the concept, I think it's in Catholicism and maybe Judaism as well, there's this there are days or times where you go and profess what you've done wrong, you think about guilt, and then you get forgiven in a way that maybe when we kind of, I don't know, the extreme example is like if someone gets something wrong on social media and then they never get seen again. So I think it's interesting we have these days where you recognise that you can do wrong and you kind of sit in that feeling and then you move on from it. It's quite and obviously hopefully do some good from it, try and make amends. But I think that's quite interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. I like to think about guilt and forgiveness. What do you think about that? You had a point.
No, I was just going to basically make Evie's point, so she made it. But yeah, forgiveness. We need to be more forgiving, I think, in media and especially in social media. And people, if they're going to learn, we started off actually with a lot of young kids talking about all the accidents they had and what they learned from it. And it's the same if you make an accident online, you should learn from it, not have it as a kind of, as a stigma, as a scar for the rest of your life.
Yeah. So how do we handle accidents? Give me 1 second, I will pass it to Lorna. Anais, do you want to sit down?
Okay. On that point, I think guilt's really interesting because how helpful is guilt if it's you wallowing in your mistake? And I wonder about proactive reactions to doing something wrong. Is an apology enough? Also, if you're going to go do something wrong again, is saying sorry publicly enough? The private versus the personal, I suppose.
Or maybe the truthfulness of an apology for Shahid.
Sorry, just to make a... I just wanted to make the point that it's actually amazing how sometimes difficult people can find it to really be sorry, to really sort of say sorry, no, hand on heart, they've done something wrong. In actual fact, often there are facades, there are pretenses, there are sort of words that people say, but to really sort of say sorry and be sorry is actually amazing how often people cling to themselves, and it's sort of aggrandizement.
Yes, how hard it is for people to say So, we are about to almost finish the session, so let's come to our final thoughts. Ian. Oh, Mikey, sorry.
Guilt is a terrible thing. If you, there's lots of things I feel guilty about in my life that I've done, wish I hadn't. But you got to move on from that. You got to forgive yourself. I think that's the important. You got to be at peace with yourself. I mean, when it comes to apologies, there's also the admission of guilt can lead to other things. For instance, in my job, if something's gone wrong, so somebody's broken a window, it's like, oh, I'm sorry we broke your window. I can't say that. I say, I'm sorry you feel that way, until it's proven, because you're giving away some kind of liability. We broke it, we have to pay for it now. So we're not going to admit that we broke it. We say, sorry that you feel that way, or sorry this has happened to you.
Wow, that's interesting. So, Emmy, what's your final?
My final thought is, where I was going to go with? But maybe guilt is sometimes a little bit like grief, and you need like different stages of grief. Maybe sitting in your guilt and thinking, oh God, I really wish I hadn't done that. You don't want to sit in that forever, but maybe that's also a useful feeling to experience. I don't know.
Suggesting to
you hurt your finger, it's telling you you've done something. I was just going to say about a lot of people think religion is narrow-minded and so on, and that's why they say, I want to get away from that. But a lot of my friends are actually atheists, and one of them actually became a Christian, and he got a lot of stick from everybody else, from all the other atheists. So it just goes to show you, it's got nothing to do really about religion. It's more to do with the way that we like to group ourselves, really, whether it's an atheism or whether it's religion. It's just historically religion has just been more prevalent than atheism.
Fulvia, what's your final thought?
My final thought. So, I think the subject is forgiveness or some kind of morals. As far as
you want. We were talking about forgiveness, and Abby just mentioned kind of a ritual which you could use, such as a ritual when we are guilty, and like a kind of a ritual which we do when we mourn. Something like this.
Okay. I can talk about forgiveness. So, not forgiving anyone or anything would only harm us. So that's the negative energy that would kill and eat us from inside. So that's why that forgiveness is. That's something I always do. So and that's
a great final thought. So we just mentioned the importance actually of forgiveness.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool, great. Shahid, you didn't give us your final thought.
Final thought. My final thoughts. Why? What about love? What about all the good things? I mean, it is important to forgive, because it is actually something that feeds us. It's something that feeds us somehow and feels good. However, I wonder. Those two young lads, Adam and Anis, they've gone now. They said about how. Previously, prior to sort of present era, in a sense, there was perhaps religion in place, and when you don't have that so much in place, what do you replace it with? It may be down to, as Fulya says, just feeling how you ought to be. But then, our sort of moral arbiters, have they gone, so that we don't really have anyone to refer to, and it's all down to us, how we decide on things, how we judge things? And does that make it more difficult, or is it in fact better because it's more open? I don't know, but I mean, we have lots of French existentialists to turn to, and whatever. But
we'll see. Loretta, what's your final thought?
Just that when we were discussing.
Thomas, give us a second. Thomas, give us a second.
Just about we were discussing before about stereotypes, and it's just to try and be mindful not to resist the temptation to judge others when we don't like to be judged ourselves, so try and think more. Yeah,
That's a great final thought. Thank you for that. Thomas, would you like to give us your final thought?
I'm going to think that's where we all live here. Well, outcasts. That's where we all live here. That's where we love each other. We're outcasts. People don't understand us.
Paradise Lost.
Yes. Eden.
So, Mikey.
I mean, as somebody I don't like to call myself atheist. I believe in people and the power of their imagination, because it's not what you don't believe in, it's what you do believe in. But for me, this might be offensive to religious people, but I feel like that religions need an update, and they're based on a world and society when the books were written that doesn't exist anymore. Now we've got things like contraception, we've got social media, we've got the possibility of gender reassignment. We've got all these things that didn't exist when these religions were first founded. And I feel that we do need an update one way or another to deal with the new technology and the new society that we're in. And I think it is, in a way, what those who don't believe in God are kind of missing, but at the same time, what those who do believe in an organised religion kind of miss out on that ability to adapt and change.
Ian, did you give us your final thought?
Can I just...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
I mean, so much I'd like to talk about, but obviously I haven't got the time. The thing about religion, the thing about... a lot of atheist friends of mine, I've only been a Christian for a few years really, but they seem to make more of a point of how they're atheists. It's more of a religion to them than the actual religion. You know, they try to kind of question why I believe in God. I don't mind if people are atheists. They've not found their particular spirit that they you know, and I have. So yeah, I mean, and updating. I mean, the basic word in the Bible, and I'm not a big Bible reader, but it's like love one another, love your neighbour, that sort of thing. I mean, these are things that we say today, so when you update it, I mean, how can you update that?
Good point. Seti, your final thought?
Thank you. Is this working? That is not the final thought. I think some of the conversations I would... they're quite in your face, and I think sometimes it's not really that okay to necessarily engage in all of the conversation. And I think I saw a HSBC advert that said it's okay, and I can't tell you how tired I am of people saying, and that's okay, and I'm like, it's really not okay. But the more you tell me that it's okay, the more I get wound up by it. And it's okay, it's okay that for you it's okay to listen to it, but actually it does the opposite. It actually suppresses the conversation. So I think there is I think people find it really difficult when someone else clearly isn't okay. That is my final thought.
That's a really good, interesting final thought.
Hello everybody. It's been a fantastic day. Really see so many faces, so many activities going on. It's been a fantastic, wonderful day. It's been fantastic on the Talkaoke table. And
I think they have to do an announcement.
Online of the people speaking. You want to see what happened there. There's been so many wonderful things going on today. It's great to see the mayor and see the people from Poplar Harker and Eco World come here, but most importantly, all the residents of Aberfeldy and beyond coming here, having fun. I met a lot of really wonderful people. We're going to wrap it up now. The exhibition will be on until the end of August, and you'll be able to have a look at those things and listen to the podcast that we've made. It's been a fantastic day. Thanks so much everyone that's taken part, we've had the Works Cafe, we've had Emil, the photographer, over here we've had the face painting, we've had the fashion people from London College of Fashion, is that right? Yes, and thanks to ARCS as well for organising all of this and helping to take the portraits. We will see you next time. We're celebrating 10 years, but as we said many times, this is just the beginning. So thanks very much to everyone for taking part. Let's have a big cheer, a final cheer. Yay! We'll see you soon.
Great. No, I think we still have 3 final thoughts. So, Nash, what's your final thought? I'm 100% sure you have one. Give us your
We're going to be packing up now.
About what? About what?
All the activities are sadly over because we just need to get this off because we said to the people.
I've got nothing to say. I was just listening.
So we need to.
Next time.
Okay. Thank you, Nash.
All good things have to end.
We have 2
we will see you next time.
Lorna, what's your final thought?
I think there's on the religious stuff that's really interesting because I think there is a difference between following scripture and faith, and how I've always understood, because I came from quite a religious family, but I'd say I was agnostic, but I think my mum's Christian, but she has faith. She always says she has faith in people and she has faith in God, but I think when we say that we have faith in something else and this power, it doesn't matter what religion you are, it is all pointing at that same kind of togetherness and optimism. So I think that, I don't know, it wasn't a very clear, but
That's fine. Thank you. Thanks a lot. John, your final thought?
My final thought is actually going to go back to Evie's question that she posed earlier, where she kind of went, what is you said something about you were basically talking about evil, and we're do we think people are really evil or not? And I think that it's nice to always approach things with an air of empathy and understanding that a lot of negative negative actions come as a result of previous pain, and that we all are made up of the people who made us and the things before us and our actions going forward, and so approaching everything along that line with empathy can make things a lot easier. So I don't think people are necessarily inherently evil. They may have had some stuff in their past that may have stopped them.
That's an interesting final thought on emotional heritage.
Yeah.
So, Margot, do you have a thought?
Yeah, I do. I really enjoyed today actually, and I have met a lot of new people, a lot of old people. I don't mean age, just people that I have known previously. But it's been really good, fun, really great conversation. Thank you. Thank you to Timney in the middle. Woo! Good night. And now we're packing down, so if you're going to Aberfeldy Street, you can grab a chair and just take it for a walk with you.
And if you want to come on the 10th of July to Richmond, where Talkaoke and
10th of July, Talkaoke's 25th birthday. I've got a louder microphone, so I'm going to say it. Unless you want to say it.
No, do it. Go for it.
Okay, so come down. We're going to be celebrating 25 years of Talkaoke. Holy cow.